man, for I am about to wade into dangerous territory by talking about masculinity on the internet. When we think of great male role models from the Star Trek mythos, we usually think of the captains. But if it pleases the court, I say the best male role model in all of Star Trek is none other than William T. Riker. Not only a courageous leader and man of action, but also a sociable man about ship and God's gift to women. Internet discourse these days would have us believe that Riker's character is either a dated fantasy or a regressive stereotype. But rewatching TNG, you'll see that Riker's character doesn't feel remotely dated. He's still an aspirational character all these years later. So let's break down why people today often misunderstand masculinity as a concept and explore the wonderful masculinity of William T. Riker. But if, after this video, you find yourself wanting to re-watch Star Trek Next Generation but it isn't available in your region, today's sponsor ExpressVPN can help. You may not realize this, but your private data is constantly being snooped on every time you use the internet, whether that be by hackers or data brokers looking to sell your personal information. ExpressVPN protects your data by encrypting and rerouting it through their secure servers. This ensures that your browsing activity stays private and out of the hands of nosy third parties. ExpressVPN also lets you access geo-restricted content. For example, if, like me, you're a fan of DC superheroes and are based in the UK and want to rewatch the newest Batman but can't find it on UK Netflix, then with a couple of clicks using ExpressVPN, you can switch locations and voila, it appears right there. There are a ton of other reasons ExpressVPN has been named the best VPN service available, such as faster speeds, 24/7 customer support, the ability to connect up to dedicated eye, click the link, come back and finish. Masculinity purely in terms of violence and power. Real men, they say, are big and strong and they win through domination. Domination of their male rivals and the opposite sex. But domination doesn't foster healthy relationships. When people feel like you're trying to attack them or manipulate them, they're not gonna like you, no matter how big your muscles are. We can see this plainly in the Klingons. They're constantly challenging each other's manliness or Klingonness, always out to prove they're the toughest and the deadliest, and any insult must be met by either another insult or violence. Riker is a man of action when he needs to be, but he's also a sociable man about town, or man about ship in his case. He's socially successful not because he's the biggest, strongest, and most dominant, but because he's a positive presence who people like being around. Riker has an infectiously upbeat attitude and takes any opportunity to inject some humor into stuffy Starfleet proceedings. People like being around Riker because he makes them feel good. That doesn't mean he's a suck-up though. Riker delights in playfully teasing his fellow crew members. Take this interaction with Worf, for example.
I do not see why it is necessary to wear these ridiculous uniforms. They look like dresses.
Riker feigns outrage and scolds Worf for his aggressive attitude.
That is an incredibly outmoded and sexist attitude. I'm surprised at you.
Only to subvert this with an ironic compliment.
Besides, you look good in a dress.
This comment nicely deflates the tension he built up before and helps Worf realize how childish his complaint is. Essentially he's saying, so what if the uniforms look silly? You're a Klingon warrior, Worf, it doesn't matter what you wear. As much as he teases other people, Riker is also great at poking fun at himself. He's a jazz lover and dabbles in playing the trumpet, but he knows he's not at a professional level, and that's fine.
So what did you wish for, Will?
Music lessons.
This is partly why Riker is so successful with women. Again, it's not because he's the strongest and most dominant, but because he has a genuine love of people. This aspect of Riker's character could easily have come across as sleazy or creepy, but quite surprisingly, it's aged terrifically well. That's because Riker doesn't pursue relationships to show others how manly he is, he does it because it's fun. There's so much joy and positivity in the way Riker talks about sex and relationships.
When it really works between two people, the rewards are far greater than simple friendship.
Here is that being able to read the room is a pretty important skill for anyone, especially if your job is to produce entertainment that will appeal to as wide an audience as possible. That means having your finger on the pulse of modern culture and understanding how people are feeling, what they like.
Well, okay. So we just I released a video on that, him covering the Variety article, and his argument there was that Hollywood should maybe not make movies that are designed to appeal to everyone, and should just make movies designed to appeal to certain demographics.
The first reality is that not everything you make can appeal to everyone, and nor should you try. Movies like Barbie and Top Gun Maverick are proof that when you target a specific audience and give them exactly what they want, without trying to dilute it down in the hopes of appealing to an even bigger market, you can and will make an absolute fortune.
Which, I mean, his 2 points were like Barbie and Top Gun Maverick, even though those are both very much 4-quadrant movies. His point was obviously, you know, they made Barbie for a women audience and then Top Gun Maverick for a male audience. Okay. Weak fucking sauce argument, but okay. And now his argument is that they should make movies exclusively for a wide audience. Like, not only was that last video I covered of his just completely fucking stupid, but this video is now completely contradicting that video.
All right, you assholes.
Hello, everybody. Am I audible? Am I audible? Hi. How's everybody doing? Just me today. And also Eric, and also Bob,
and Elam's here too.
Elam's here. Oh, of course he is. 40 piece of shit. Anyway, I always beat him up after streams whenever Elam's been on. I'm like, you fucking suck as a cat, Gordy, and I just smack him around, you know. Anyway, I'm kidding. No. Yeah. So how's everybody doing? Yeah. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, same day, same shit, different day. I mean,
just generally.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So, you know, just to, okay. So earlier reports, I did not anticipate that it was going to end up the way it did, but apparently it did. So Charlie Kirk died from the gunshot wound to his neck.
I wasn't anticipating it either.
Which is generally just it's a unfortunate thing, because any death is unfortunate. You know, and that's really all there is to say about it. I mean, you know, I'll probably have more to say on it on my stream Friday. I mean, I think I definitely will. But as of today, you know, just out of respect for, you know, whatever people loved him and you know, might have been affected by that, then negatively, then, you know, we'll just say that 31 years old, you know, that's crazy. It fucking happened. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's been confirmed, guys. I saw like several outlets reporting on it.
Yeah, AP is reporting it. AP is pretty reliable.
Yep.
It happened very quickly. I saw the news, and then within a few minutes, I was like, "Oh, now they're saying he's in critical. Now he's no longer with us." So it happened like super fast.
Yeah, no, I was driving home from work, and I got I saw the text in our super secret Eric July server, and then you know, and then my parents texted me, and then Bobby Quarters, my podcast co-host, texted me, and yes.
Oh, look, Ant's here. Look at this. Hey. Ant, what's up, man?
Not much. Excellent, cool. Just got live. Cool. So, anything happened today?
Not really.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely.
Okay. Why isn't it live on my end? This is so strange.
Is it not live? It says it is up on the top. It's
now I am. Good. Cool. It's all working on my end now. I'm just cool. Excellent. It's working.
Oh, Trump announced it in the White House, so it must be true. You know, he's only left.
This is certainly news to come. I came on to talk about Andypants gaming and
Yeah.
like goofy stuff.
Yeah.
And subreddits. I didn't come here to discuss real life news, so I'm not.
I mean,
going to.
I came on to talk about like J.K. Rowling sharing fucking AI slop and shit.
Yeah, this is. It's you know what I will say this as a general statement. What happened is absolutely horrendous, and you know it's a tragedy to anyone. You know,
Yes.
but I'm not a reporter. It's not. I'm not qualified to talk about that topic, so I won't because I'm
Right.
not.
I mean, I
none of us are really.
I made it a topic to discuss late in the game whenever it was originally reported he was shot, because from what I understood, what I was reading, it was like he's not like critically injured. I don't think.
But I don't. This is a topic I don't think any of us are qualified to discuss.
Yeah, all I want to say is I saw the video and I knew that it was going to be bad based on the clip that I saw.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys saw the full video. I was like,
No,
yeah,
I
this
haven't
is
seen
bad.
any video.
It's bad. Yeah, I knew it as soon as I saw the clip.
This is not a topic I don't think any of us should ever talk about.
Well, I mean,
And
I'm definitely
extend
going to on Friday. I'm just,
Yeah.
only whenever it's,
Of course.
I'm the one that's, accountable.
And
for
I
it.
extend sympathy towards his wife and child.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wish his family well.
Yeah,
He
seriously.
certainly
That's
had
easy.
people that cared about him and loved him. Those people are suffering, and that sucks. And there you go.
Yeah.
Moving on. So let's talk about Andypants. I kind of like know the surface of that whole thing, and if it's just like based on the summary of what I saw happen or what it came out about his game or whatever, then that, like, what the fuck?
Okay, so this I actually have some knowledge of because I watched Dead Domain stream the game a couple months ago when it first dropped. The game itself is AI slop. It is made entirely using AI assets. It is downright horrendous and disgusting. It is just a horrendous mess of everything. It's not good. And the rumor is, and I haven't seen confirmation of it, is that his own daughter was taken away as a result of
Jesus.
What he put in the
Yeah,
game.
I did see that. Yeah.
I understood what I saw briefly. It's an image, like art, basically, that was designed after his daughter. Is that what it was?
Oh, I don't know about that.
This is all news to me.
Yeah, I didn't know anything
So
about
the
that.
game was dedicated to his daughter. So that's why I know. So it's not good. It's not good. I believe the game is removed off of Steam as well because it was immediately deeply inappropriate. It broke all terms of service. It was just not right at all. And as a result, it looks like, again, I have not seen confirmation that his daughter has been taken away, but I do think it is noteworthy that he hasn't denied it as far as I know either.
Right.
So
this is something other than that Chad versus gay Nazi game, right?
this is Chad versus the Gay Nazi.
Sorry.
This is that game, which contained tons of very illicit material.
This is him. I don't know his content. I know him from Twitter mainly. I just see, would see takes like this.
I mean, I covered him probably like a year ago. His content is pretty much your basic anti-woke drivel that you're used to.
He came under my radar with all the drama with Actman where he was filing false DMCAs.
That's where
that's when I started noticing him.
Yes. So what happened is, did you see the initial video he posted about how every single person on YouTube who doesn't hate Activision is a quote unquote gay communist?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what started the Actman drama right there. So like once you see that, you're like, oh, this is that kind of guy. Okay.
Yeah. I have a little list of stuff over here that I remember. That was back in 2024, the beginning of that with the copyright drama and all that.
Mm-hmm. No. So he's not exactly. So Andypants is, and before that. So again, a lot of this I know is thanks to the Actman debate and the Actman videos they posted. Andypants also has the. Before becoming Andypants Gaming, he ran an Xbox shill channel, basically. Where he just sucked up to Xbox and Microsoft and praised them and, all that good stuff. So he has a history of kind of jumping on grifts and kind of holding on for dear life for relevancy. So he's not exact. And he kind of has to yes, I don't know how much of this he believes and how much of this is stuff that he just says to get like attention online. I kind of think he believes a lot of it. I think he believes a lot of what he says.
Oh my God, I just Googled
where's
this.
his
Holy
morality
shit.
at?
I just Googled.
If he's like getting so offended over something like playing as a woman in a game, and then also doing, what he seems to have done or whatever.
Fuck.
Well, yeah, the game is pretty. Again, Dead Domain had the entire game. They streamed it on. She streamed it on a few months ago, I'd say, and I believe the whole stream could not be preserved on YouTube because it broke TOS.
Right.
Again, Dead Domain had no idea it broke TOS when when the stream started, but Andypants sure included some very inappropriate material in that game.
I mean, I can. I guess. Do we want to loosely describe what this is? Because I was kind of confused what we were talking about until I Googled it.
Oh, yeah, we started at the beginning.
So yes, I just looked it up. This is just a Reddit post, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But apparently, this game, it includes a character based on his daughter, and there's a secret area in the game that you can unlock that includes CP of her.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to say a couple shout outs in my chat just real quick because you got a few gift memberships and a super chat real quick.
Yeah.
Sam, last name, thank you so much for the super chat. Played Skullgirls. I have played Skullgirls once a while back, and it's a game I want to revisit again in the future. X-Men superfan Emma Frost, thank you so much for the gifted members. Those who are getting the memberships to my channel, you can access my exclusive Discord through the link in the channel description for members. You can access it right now. But yeah, no, it has AI generated CSAM, and the game is of presumably the character who's supposed to be his daughter, and that's deeply screwed up.
Yeah, I've been trying to switch this language myself, guys. So
yeah, it's important to mention. It's because the other implication implies the other thing can only be made consensually, and nothing involving children like that.
I think CSAM covers more of the problem than the other terminology. Yeah, exactly.
Plus, the other thing is, it's an AI generated illustration, so it's just exploitative on all levels completely.
I mean, to be fair, that's one of my biggest concerns about AI is that you're going to be able to sort of create your own versions of people and then do what you want with them. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, AI is frightening. The things they can do with AI as a concept. You ever go on TikTok and see those, like, I'm getting a lot of these recently where it's like, is it AI or is it real? And they'll show like food being put together.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can always tell if you're looking carefully, but if you're not looking carefully, and that's with food, that's not even like, explicit material of like another person. That's going to be where the lawsuits come in. Because I've been seeing who was it who sued Midjourney? I think it was over explicit material of them being generated with AI. I forget.
I don't remember that one. Yeah. The only thing I know is the current lawsuit with Warner Brothers where they're going after Midjourney for like, I think it's like 100. I think I saw it was like 150,000 per infraction. So every person that generated something with copyrighted material is $150,000. They're going after. So that's not good for Midjourney. I don't know what's going to happen. I will say that hopefully whatever these companies do, this is the good side of like the corporate stuff where they're pushing stuff here, is that this will set the standard for like individual people as well. Like whatever the lawsuit comes under in terms of like what is okay and what isn't okay will allow other people to sue without having to spend a ton of money to do it. So
exactly. This one was just one super chat again real quick. Austin LaPlante, did you hear Charlie Kirk was just killed at a college campus? Yes, I have. I am not qualified to discuss anything about that. I don't want to feed into any rumors about the case. It is still ongoing. I extend sympathy towards his wife and child. And I do not want to say anything else, and you really shouldn't say anything else either.
Yeah, because apparently there's rumors going around they've caught people and stuff. There's a lot of false information out there, so it's better to just wait until this is all.
Wait till the authorities report on it. Do not say anything. It is an ongoing investigation, and the last thing that we want to spread is any misinformation about an ongoing investigation. That is especially one that has just started.
All right, and I just want
Very wise,
before I
very
forget,
wise.
because it was a while ago, Rowley Jefferson
Yes.
became a member of my channel. I just wanted to thank him for joining.
Anyway, I'm back, but back on the video games that are terrible. That's the let's not.
I mean, never mind the fact that the whole anti-woke grift, like one of the things I like talk about, just because it has like gay characters or something like that, that somehow they're grooming children, and then they make games like this, and it's like, oh my fucking god, oh my.
Yeah, no, it's Andypants has a reputation for being Andypants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, his debate with Ackman is really telling because he went in thinking that he knew what he was going to say. He went in thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna push around this guy," and it backfired horribly on him. It's one of those very memorable online debates.
I mean, aren't these games? I mean, now with AI, you're not going to see it as much. But aren't a lot of these games just asset flip games?
So here's the thing with the game itself, because I have seen gameplay footage. It's very crudely designed. A lot of it feels like RPG Maker kind of stuff, where you're just walking and talking to different characters, and nothing really happens in terms of gameplay. And the action segments are basically bullet hell segments that are very crudely designed, and get into several glitchy moments where it's kind of hard to move the character around. There's that one glitch where in certain games, when you're like on a side scroller, sometimes you'll alternate back and forth, forward and back, without really moving on screen. A lot of moments like that, invisible walls he gets stuck on just because of faulty programming. Because he made it in I guess 40 days, I think he said, which is not enough time to make a game normally, especially if you're using AI code and AI assets that you don't know what they actually do.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, the game does not work.
So it sounds like it's not only is it a terrible game, it's also morally reprehensible.
Yeah, just all around bad. And somehow they make guys wearing Jinro of the Wolf Brigade armor look lame. Somehow they make the Jinro armor look lame as hell. I don't know how they figured out a way to do it, but they certainly found a way.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Andypants sounds like a nickname like his mom gave him when he was 6 or something. He's like, that's
it really is. It really is. He's and apparently what's funny too, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the creator Otterly Noah.
Yes.
Yes.
Andypants has been going after Otterly Noah now too. In the comment section of his videos.
I was just gonna say they've been making solid videos pointing out the grift.
I feel like we're
seeing
seeing so many people now being woke, waking up to all of the stuff that's going on, and finally responding to it with proper commentary and stuff like that. And it's been a while for the longest time. It was kind of smaller channels sort of doing it, but now we're seeing that reach going bigger, and a lot of these chud grift channels that have been able to do this without anybody at their level firing back at them. I think those days are over. I think it's done. So,
well, I've been seeing this too. Obviously, so I put out a video. Actually, it's really funny, because I put out a video, and so did the Birdman, and so did Oddly Noah on within a 24-hour period on a very similar series of topics. and it's very fun. It was a total coincidence. I actually. The video was a last minute thing. I didn't actually plan it out that way. I was putting out polls thinking, oh, what do you guys want to see? And that was one of the winners. I'm like, I kind of want to do something a little different. I wanted to write about this one manga, and I realized, I have nothing to say about this one manga. So I pivoted. Anyway, that's not important. Point is though, all of them were pretty widely watched. People were talking about them. People are really resonating with the idea that these guys who are pushing these grifts their arguments just don't hold water anymore.
Yes.
And I think one of the biggest problems that they've had is that in a lot of ways they've won a lot of battles, and nothing that they advocated for happening have happened.
Right. That's a good point. I've talked about this before. There's a lot of things if you go back to 2024 and you look at the videos of things they complained about being a problem, there's never any resolution to those things. They just kind of stop talking about it, and then they move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And
I pointed out Comicsgate before is just a specific example. You think about how when they started out, their whole thing was they wanted to like actually influence mainstream comics. They wanted to,
Right.
you know, kind of get in there. They weren't at first. They weren't just trying to create a separate little, you know, parallel economy over here. That's what they ended up doing, and then it shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. But you know, that's what happened, and it's like, and that's basically the same story with anything, you know, when it comes to this stuff. And it's becomes clear that it was never anything that had a chance at because it was all built on bullshit. You know, by and large, I mean, you know, the things they were saying were just not true. They would do things like you know, talk about how, look at this example of how bad comics are now based on that new Warriors comic that didn't even come out.
Yeah.
And they talk about that for fucking 5 years. And they talk about, you know, the kids book, I Am Not Starfire. That's like a little kids fucking comic, acting like that's indicative of every comic at DC or whatever. And it's like, you know, eventually some people are going to start to get wise to that shit.
Oh yeah, it's actually funny you mentioned Comicsgate. I was just watching a video. It was like about 10 months ago. The video didn't like you guys, but but I thought it was a very interesting video. I think it was like from a center right perspective about Comicsgate, and it was just interesting seeing that like that kind of viewpoint of it, because obviously we went through all of it, we saw all of it firsthand. But it's interesting seeing even from their perspective how they like felt like there was a sense of profound disappointment with how the movement turned out. And that's not just us looking in. Obviously, we can see all the flaws in the system. All the cracks are here. There's a problem. This, that, and the third. But like looking at it from their perspective, it's interesting because even they felt it failed, and that disappointment is palpable. I think
that's what's driving a lot of the infighting.
Yeah,
right now is that well, there's a couple reasons why. I think the infighting. Hey, Ryan.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hey.
I think a lot of the infighting stems from a lot of the slowdown in what the Comicsgate movement was, but also the receding of money. Like they're not, the funds that were coming in before for crowdfunded comics is dropping off. And we're seeing that. I mean, look, you can look at Eric July's business model and see that that's occurring for him. And that's probably one of the easiest ones because of so many things that he's been making over the last 2 or 3 years. But just in general, crowdfunding for comic books, only a couple of people are still generating a lot of money. The rest of everybody else are fighting for the scraps at this point.
Yeah, I think it also doesn't help that Eric July actually delivers comics. Like, say what you about the quality of them. I think they're garbage, but like, at least he makes them. You know, at least they get in people's hands.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
There's not like a 3-year delay,
or 5 in some cases.
7 years. You know,
hell, there's some comics that were back when, like in 2020, 2019, that still haven't been finished. Like 5 years to make a comic that you raise like $250,000 to make. Like, where's the
that's how you're gonna beat the industry. You're gonna release a comic book every 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta get that out every month or every 2 months.
What we're saying is that there's somebody mentioned in chat.
Yeah,
it's been a while. Since I dropped that. So
that's a good. You know what? Valid, fair, brave. But no, it's Cyberfrog. Well, I think they're doing. He's on what, the 3rd issue of Cyberfrog in like 6-7 years,
something like that.
Oh yeah, it's he's maybe done a half dozen comic books on Cyberfrog, and the first one came out in 1996. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'm not counting the old stuff. I'm counting like the post DC, post him working at DC era. You know,
if it never
I'm
comes
just
out,
saying, if you count the old stuff, there's like a half dozen issues. That's it.
If it never comes out, then it's like it can't be worse or even on par with like a Rippaverse comic, right? It's always theoretically better than that. So as long as it never comes out,
I do think the comics are better, but Rippaverse is. I think Eric July is trying to. I think Eric July is trying to offer an alternate to the industry comics, and he doesn't care about the overall quality.
Right.
So his issue isn't that he's not delivering. His issue is that he doesn't care about the quality. So it's like it's two different problems that we see in those business models.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like because I've read a few of the Comicsgate books, and you can tell when the writer was passionate but inept versus this is an assembly line product.
I mean, a lot of them are failed professionals, right? Like people that no longer work in the industry that are trying to do their own comics. Like, isn't that what it is? Or
by and large, that is
it's
it. Exactly. It's either somebody that they're kind of washed up and they weren't really getting work anymore.
I don't know. I mean, is failed the right word? I don't know if that's the correct terminology that you would use.
Several of them they failed in the sense that they just like didn't. You got a bunch of hungry young artists and stuff coming into the industry all the time, and Marvel and DC in particular, they're going to hire those guys. You know what I mean? And if you're not like keeping up on your chops and you're just kind of like doing the same, kind of crap you've been doing for years, and you're also not able to get books out on time, like some folks.
I mean, I know it's not CG, but Rob Liefeld is a good example of somebody that just
I'd say so.
He's pretty bordering at this point.
Well, what about what was his name? Was it Mike S. Miller? Was that his name? The guy
he is. Well, maybe he's not CG anymore. The infighting has me confused on who's actually CG.
Now he streams a Shadiversity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he streams Shadiversity now. It's like because all of Shad's friends on Night Watch just left him.
You know how I encountered Mike S. Miller was like he you remember Eric? You and I were streaming after the just the two of us after the show.
Oh yes. I do remember.
I didn't know who he was. His channel name was his avatar name was something else or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember what he called himself, but yeah,
it was like he was hiding like cosplaying as like a nobody. I guess.
And he showed up kind of like trying to troll and bait me and Eric. We were talking about, and I was like, dude, if you want to come on and talk about it, and I had no idea who he was. He gets on there and he still didn't tell me. I didn't find out until afterwards, and I went and looked at his channel and I figured out, wait a second, this is fucking that guy that drew Injustice, and he was Comicsgate, and now apparently him and Ethan didn't get along anymore. So of course, if you're not cool with Ethan, if he's not cool with you, you're not Comicsgate officially.
Well, Ethan fights with every single human being who ever wants an ounce of respect from his peers. The guy can't help but fight with people. Like he can't control himself. It's like a compulsive.
Not supposed to talk about him anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
got a super chat. Read it real quick.
Yep.
Sorry, I like to read them out when I get them, so I don't forget to send it all. Which Batman villains wouldn't survive actual prison?
Oh.
That's actually a good question. Honestly,
Riddler?
Did any of them do something really inappropriate, like to children? I'm trying to think. Maybe Professor Pig might be one who's I'm trying to think because usually in prison, like they target people who hurt.
Yeah.
Mad Hatter?
Would he Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter's screwed. Mad Hatter's dead. Mad Hatter's dead. They're gonna go for Mad Hatter right away.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say about what these grifters are finding out is the rule of three, where you can have something good, fast, or cheap, but usually you can only have two of those three. Right. So, like Ethan Van Skyver, apparently it's good, but it's not fast. Actually, it's not cheap either. So maybe in their world you can only have one of the three.
Yeah.
With Eric July, you can have it fast, but it's neither good nor cheap.
That's true. He's been jacking up prices on certain items. So he's trying to sell those statues now, the Todd McFarlane statues of Primeval Isom. He keeps changing the names of them to something else. So. Which
is such a weird. I mean, I guess he knows that he's got whales that support him, because those are the sort of statues that I look at of characters that I love and have loved for years and think that's still a little too expensive for my taste.
People that, like, for me, I have so much stuff sitting around the house that it's prime real estate for me. If I'm gonna get something, it's gonna be something that I want to trade out for something else that I already love. So I can't imagine being someone that loves all these old comics and you're like, yeah, I want to take down this like Wonder Woman or Spider-Man to put Primeval Isom up on my shelf. Like I don't see.
What about Yaira?
Look, I'll be honest with you. Even if you showed me 5 Isom characters, I couldn't tell you what the names are. I really couldn't. They're all very interchangeable for me.
Yeah.
and I guarantee it. Like, he has whales, but what's going to be the moneymaker for him, and it could have already come out for all I know, is when like Mauler and those guys who are working with Eric July and his company Rippaverse put their comics out.
Well, they did an anthology book for him.
Okay, they did already. Okay, I wasn't sure if they come out yet or not.
It's not come out. It's still being funded, but it's got Mauler, Heel versus Babyface is writing one of the
acclaimed writer, Heel versus Babyface,
and Critical Drinker, I believe, too.
Yeah,
right?
Critical Drinker is on there.
Saska Sisters, I think they're doing one in there as well, which they've already done stories for Eric July, and then I can't remember the other person, but it didn't do, like, it wasn't $1 billion or campaign, or it wasn't $1 million campaign, I don't think, which is crazy, because also Yellow Flash's book struggled to reach its funding goal, which was like $100,000. This is somebody who has over 500,000 subs. The money just isn't there anymore. People, they feel like, I said this previously before any of this even happened, like with all these people collaborating with Ripison and all that, is a lot of folks that fought to get the country where it is feel like they've already done the work and they've tapped out. That's what I think. Trump got elected, they've got control of everything. They won the culture war. They no longer have to spend money to prove a point. And I think a lot of these guys thought they were selling actual stuff, like I'm selling comics, or I'm selling novels, or I'm selling this and that. Everything you were selling was literally a sword or a shield in the culture war. And now that a lot of people felt like that they've won, they don't need those swords and shields anymore.
Well, that's the thing too, isn't it? Like it's like the Bane quote: "Victory has defeated you." You know, these guys, they thought they were, they thought they were a big deal. They thought they were doing something good, and it just turned out to not be. It didn't work. Like it worked too well. They didn't get what they wanted, and I think the thing also now we're seeing is with the culture shift is that we're seeing a lot of people go back to very traditional superhero stories. Superman and Fantastic Four are very traditional in their structure. Classic heroics, bright colors, and people tend to like it. Like Superman obviously is hugely successful. Fantastic Four less successful, but still is.
It finally crossed 500 million though. That's good.
It crossed 500 million, 512 million. And if you look at the box office for Fantastic Four in domestic, it's right on par with Winter Soldier in terms of domestic box office. Not international, because China's indifferent to it, but it's still pretty successful. And even though the grifters are trying to frame it as a failure, it's still not enough. It's not the same momentum behind what they've been hammering before. And it stinks for them.
Well, I mean, it's tough to argue $500 million is a failure. $500 million.
Box office is weird, man. And that's not even counting all the back end marketing stuff. Because you've all read about the I think it was like 170 million that Disney got from back end deals with merchandising.
Well, you know what? I watched I can't remember the guy's channel now. I wish I could remember so I can give him a shout out. But I watched a channel, somebody that doesn't really care about culture war or anything like that. He was just talking about the industry and what did he call it? Like family friendly content and the sort of merchandising scam around them, or basically like he says that a lot of times these movies make more off of toys and t-shirts and things like that than the whole box office. They sell much more. There's a higher profit margin for that because they're not splitting profits with ticket sales. They're not doing any of that stuff. These are merchandising deals where they're selling a 10-cent action figure for $20. So even when it goes on sale for $5, it's still well above what they paid for manufacturing because of the sheer amount that they had made in one time. But he went on to say that, like, you look at Fantastic Four, they're probably going to make way more off of toys and t-shirts and park things at the park and Fantastic Four thing gloves and stuff like these types of things make a lot more money for them than the box office does. The box office is essentially just extra money on top of what they really wanted, which was merchandising sales.
Well, look at Marvel Rivals. Like people act like Marvel Rivals and the MCU are separate entities, but they're all owned by Disney. Ultimately, they're all the money goes back to Disney in the end. So people like saying, "Oh, Marvel Rivals is doing Marvel so much better than the MCU." Well, Disney gets the dollar in the end. The mouse wins in both cases. Like you fighting back and forth, all it's doing is giving Disney more of your cash. And you see like these people online go, "Oh, Marvel Rivals is showing the MC what's what about how to do the Fantastic Four." Like, yeah, well, whenever you buy your Gunnar skin for Invisible Woman, which by the way I have bought, I can't even be mad about that one. I got that costume. That's my main.
If I played Marvel Rivals, I'd probably get it too. Invisible Woman is
that Malice skin's fantastic. But like every time you buy it, that goes straight to either NetEase and if it goes to NetEase, it goes to Disney for the license holder. And if NetEase makes a lot of money, they're going to want to make sure they get that.
Oh my God.
Back from Disney.
I just did, before you read this, I just did a real like a quick search or whatever. It looks like the $4 to $5 billion that Star Wars made recently on the trilogy in the movies. Take a guess on how much they made on merchandise.
I'm going to guess 55 billion.
Well, it says here they don't know the exact number on the top end, but the bottom end is like $20+ billion on merchandise.
That sounds about right. That makes sense. Because you got to remember, it's not just the movies, it's not just the shirts, it's also ticket sales at Disneyland, Disney World, and your cruise liners, and licenses for all the different games they make, and all. It's so many things. We don't even know how much it is. You know, we don't know. And it's also selling the characters to companies to use in commercials. Like a big thing for the Fantastic Four was the Zillow commercial. You know, every time Zillow ran an ad with the Fantastic Four in it, Disney got a buck.
Same thing with Little Caesars Pizza. That's what I told people. I'm like, they pay for that too. They pay for all of that.
Yeah. Little Caesars pays Marvel to be allowed to use the Fantastic Four. Marvel gets advertising from it. Little Caesars gets a boost. Everyone walks. It's a deal that benefits everyone, but Disney probably makes the money back for their budgets before the movie comes out.
Frozen did 1.3 billion, but merchandising sales top 5 billion.
I believe that.
Cars did over 10 billion in merchandising revenue. So
I mean, when Cars came out, Cars was quite it was a lukewarm response to the film, and yet somehow they made 2 sequels, and you're thinking why? It's because kids love toy cars.
But the grifter,
hot take, Cars sucks. Hot take there. I'm sorry, Cars fanatics and your Kachows and your
my
fans.
My partner hates that because he's like, I don't understand. They're cars that talk. Like, I don't get how that works. And I'm just like, it's just, you know, he's like, I love a lot of Disney stuff, but that one gets to him. He's like, I understand animals talking, but cars talking, and like, how does that even make sense? And I'm like, that's just the movie. Like,
it's one of those things.
Gag when they flash them. Flash the lights at him.
Like the first one was mid in my opinion. I thought the third one was fine, and then the second one was bad. But then like my son grows up, and then he gets addicted to him for a couple of years, and it's like, oh, this is where they make their money.
I don't know who super chat this is, but we do have one here.
That would be mine, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Spaceballs yogurt merchandising. Spaceballs.
We got Spaceballs. Spaceballs 2's coming out soon too. By the way,
Spaceballs essentially predicted it years ago, but obviously working on what George Lucas did. But I think we were all just about old enough to remember how cartoons in the 80s were just commercials for the toys, and it was due to Reagan's government.
Transformers, G.I. Joe, all of these things. Yeah.
He-Man. And so all of these people now were saying, oh, they're ruining our childhoods. It's like, your childhood is a toy commercial.
Yeah.
In fairness, though, I do also like just outright toy commercials sometimes. There is like every Halloween, this is a dumb story. I there's like those videos that are like collections of like 90s and 80s Halloween commercials. I'll just put those on when I'm cooking. It's great. It's like a nice nostalgic blanket. It's
this
fun.
is true. Wow.
This is my holiday.
True. Yeah. But I admit it's a toy commercial. I'm not pretending it's not.
I watch all the Christmas ones because some of the UK Christmas ones are fantastic from back in the day, and the amount of celebrities that they were getting advertising shops and companies that no longer exist, it's a trip down memory lane. But
like a good Gimbals commercial, right? I'm sure if you had Gimbals in the UK, it was like I'm not even sure if Gimbals even exists anymore. Probably not.
Well, we had Woolworths, which I think is different to your Woolworths in that.
Yes. We had a Woolworths here back when I was a kid, but the company eventually just went out of business. But apparently it's still really big outside of the US. So,
well, it was here, but their business model just sort of evaporated, and eventually
I think it's still in Australia, though. I think Australia.
I think so. Yeah, they became best known here for selling pick and mix and children's clothes. Everything else they sold was a failure, but everybody remembers it fondly. Despite never actually shopping. If you ask somebody if they love it, I love Woolworths. When was the last time you bought something from there? Oh, I never bought anything from there.
I do want to point some of the people in the chat are talking about the cartoon stuff or whatever. A lot of the cartoons that got canceled in the 80s and 90s did so because the toys weren't selling, not because the cartoons weren't good, but because there was no merchandising.
Well, often the cartoons were not good too.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I really loved, like for example, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Sharks, all of those cartoons. Silverhawks had great toys, but they weren't selling, so the cartoon eventually got canceled. So
He-Man's another one where the toys they released, the initial batch was huge, but they kept releasing toys long after the cartoon, I think, had stopped airing, and they were just churning basically crap out by the end of it. But the interesting thing about Transformers is they never stopped. They never stopped producing Transformers toys because they were so lucrative in Japan.
I was just going to say, I was insanely jealous of my friend simply because, you know, to date me a bit, back in the day, he had the entire Voltron set and made the giant robot. And I was like,
I had the one. I had the one that was like dangerous for you. It was like made with bad materials.
You got the lead in the paint one?
Yeah,
is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so does anyone remember the show Skeleton Warriors?
Vaguely.
That was familiar. A show I wish picked up. I wish it took off because it's just such a great idea. It has like a heavy metal aesthetic. It basically, the whole show looks like an Iron Maiden cover. Basically, it's just, I mean, Skeleton Warriors.
I do remember. Yeah.
Right there
wasn't the animation similar to like the real Ghostbusters or whatever that was? Something like that.
I'd say like a cross between that and like Gargoyles. I see a good comparison.
Yeah. Gargoyles is actually a really good cartoon. That's
Gargoyles is fantastic.
I've been wanting to rewatch it.
They keep talking about bringing it back because it was so popular. It's got a hell of a cast as well. That's the first time they really sort of injected celebrity voices into it.
I mean,
I say
got the cast of
celebrities.
TNG are good.
The cast of Star Trek.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah, the cast of Star Trek plus Keith David as the main guy.
Well, Keith David's been in a lot. I mean, he's been in a lot with Disney even recently too. So I'm sure he'd be fine with going back as Goliath. I feel like that would be. I feel like all the actors in that would very quickly come back to revoice their characters. I feel like.
I wonder if it was more popular in people's heads than it actually was, though, which is why they haven't brought it back. Because I can't ever. I'll be honest. It probably wasn't as big a hit as we think it is, but it's like those who watched it loved it, but good luck convincing other people when Spider-Man was on TV to switch it off to watch Gargoyles.
I think it's one of those cult classics, like Blade Runner. Like they'll release a Blade Runner every few years now, but like it never performs great. Never.
And weirdly, that's when Fox was sort of dominating the animation world as well. You had,
and that was ABC. So you
X-Men, and it was.
They had some good shows. What was the other one too? There was also Street Sharks. That one never got its flowers, but it's such
I never watched that one.
It's so dumb, but like I had all the toys for that because it's walking sharks with a big mouth. How can you not love that?
Wasn't there something about travel dinosaurs or something too? Like,
I did watch a little bit of the dinosaur one. Yeah,
there was Dino Riders in the 80s, but I think there was another one after that as well that they did.
There's lots of them that are trying to ape off the TMNT success. Yeah.
Biker Mice from Mars, which again hasn't made a comeback.
Street Sharks.
So I got a quick short here. I want to show you guys.
Let's do it.
It takes a turn, and I want to see if you guys can see
it
before it happens.
They'll be subtle, so be careful.
The first thing I'm doing,
left or right turn?
Nothing. If I met any grifter in person, what's the first thing I'm doing? Nothing. I don't know what you want me to do. Argue with these morons in public? They don't want no smoke with me. Not that type of smoke. Not real life smoke. I don't think grifters in general want to argue their positions.
True.
I think they're pussies. And I mean like in a debate.
Has anybody seen this short before? Anybody know where it's going?
No.
I've seen this little segment of it, but I haven't seen this short.
Now I don't like debating because I think of it as pageantry. It's a popularity contest. It's this guy has more followers than you, therefore they won the argument. This is how people actually think. I'm not joking. People come to my channel all the time. Oh, they have more followers than you. That must mean they're right. They literally say
right. And by that logic, because Marvel and all the things they criticize is so much more popular than them, they must be wrong, right?
Yeah, that's how it works, right? That's how that term works.
I've also said that if this is the standard, then anybody less, like everybody Nerdrotic streams with that has less subs than him, their opinions are also wrong.
Well, that's why what he said.
Well, their opinions don't even matter because like Nerdrotic is the only one with the opinion that matters. Unless Critical Drinker's streaming with them, then that's the only opinion that matters. And that's
it's going to take a turn here in a second. It's pretty great.
Say that. So what's the point? What would be the point of a debate? That's my perspective. But their perspective, they don't want to debate because they know that their ideas can't stand up to scrutiny in real time. So they would never do it. Eric July got embarrassed by Bob from the Shillcast from Organized Chaos.
You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
I know that guy.
Let's talk about. Go back to ISOM. What about it are you asking? What specific?
Wait. You've read
what specific action are you asking pertaining?
No.
to ISOM?
I'm gonna get stuck on this one. You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
Are you what? Let's talk about ISOM.
Yeah, that's from a debate that Eric had with them, and he got schooled easily. They don't want that type of smoke, is what I'm saying. They have no reason to do it.
I do take maybe you can speak for yourself, Bob, but I don't think it was easy for you to get those couple of like pretty epic, legendary fucking owns on them. I think he made you work for it.
Well, I mean, I stumbled into them.
I was just gonna say
I
that.
wasn't expecting it. Yeah.
I feel like Bob went into it thinking that he had his information ready, like stuff that he wanted to talk about, and Eric July brought nothing, and so Bob was just flabbergasted at the lack of preparedness that Eric July was for this debate that he had with Bob. It was funny.
It's funny. Actually, we watched the debate fairly recently, because just randomly, and it's amazing how little Eric July actually prepared for anything in that whole discussion. Like it was entirely like him just jumping off the seat of his pants and using it to market his work, and that's about it.
I think that has a combination of like ego, like he thought he was so much smarter and better than Bob or anybody that wants to challenge him, which is why he had that 2-hour like cope session afterwards with himself, because he couldn't deal with the fact that he exposed himself in that debate. And I don't think he's done any more like hater debates since. I think that was the last one.
I believe that debate killed debates in this area of YouTube. That like,
I'm sorry, guys.
There's been a couple of smaller ones.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Yeah, no, but it's like, I mean, and again, like I've had a couple debates on my channel, but it's always with people who like come in with the perspective of like having a discussion. Like I debated Manga Common a few months ago, and we both were like going in beforehand, going, okay, what's some topics we don't want to really touch it because none of us wanted it to be personal. We're like, okay, let's just talk about. We have different opinions in this stuff. Let's just chat about it, and that's reasonable. Eric July probably didn't even communicate with you before the debate beyond just saying let's fight. Basically, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah,
that was a where were you at kind of.
I was watching it live. Yeah, I remember watching that live because I told Bob after it was over. I sat through that whole like 2 hours of him standing up, and I got 200, but it's like it's all muscle, and I was just like, what are we doing here? It just like devolved into this crazy fucking cope session. It's really
amazing how insecure some men are in their masculinity. They have to like boost themselves up after the fact.
Well, I'm built like a goddamn brick.
I'm very sorry to my followers here to witness that.
It's amazing how quickly he went to that well, though. I mean, virtually the first thing out of his mouth was basically a veiled threat towards Bob about he better not meet him in person. And it's like, if that's how you're going into a debate with the idea that your best tactic is to threaten someone, it's not going to work.
But we all know that Eric July isn't that guy because he has called the cops on people that have tried to come and talk to him in person. He's had people arrested that have come and tried to talk to him in person on meme shit, like literal meme shit. He's called and like done that. So all of those threats he made towards Bob were completely veiled. They had no water to them because he's not that guy. He wants you to believe he is, but he's not.
Well, here's a question too that you might be able to answer because I'm a little unclear in this detail. Who's this Vito guy who Eric July is obsessed with?
He is the co-host of a podcast, The Biggest Problem in the Universe, with Dick Masterson, and that Vito is adjacent to the Dick Masterson drama that caused the EVS fallout between Eric July and EVS. And they're both on the same podcast. And Eric is releasing a comic, Vito released a comic called Super Killer that he's taken years to make. It's just late as fuck. But he's also attacked people for late comics. He's also a professional clout chaser on Twitter. So it's like, it's that whole thing. And he's also extremely... he just jumps sides all the time. He doesn't have any sort of like allegiance to anybody. So
so he's just as much of a grifter as everyone else then. Okay.
Well, so there was a period on where he was just like kind of regularly sending me DMs with like information about the Fandom Menace guys and like, stuff they'd said and various things like, and it was like legit, tips on stuff that I hadn't thought of or wouldn't have noticed or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. And then I'd be like, dude, so why aren't you just making content about this? Why are you sending me the DMs about this stuff? Because I'm making good content about these guys with it. And he just because he still wanted to have one foot in that space kind of thing. And then he would go out like he had problems with racism and then like anti-gay bigotry, but then he would be on Twitter like retweeting libs of TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah, so he stood for nothing. Is what you're saying.
No, he is spineless. If there's ever a person I've met where their spine is like a jellyfish, it's Vito, 100%.
Okay, because I was seeing his name mentioned a few times. I'm like, this guy. I'm not sure if I've ever talked to this guy. I don't remember this guy. Because sometimes you talk to people and you forget they exist.
We just talked about this a couple episodes back, but I mentioned that I actually felt like he was getting dogpiled. By the way, hey Malachi, good to see you.
Hey.
I felt like he was getting dogpiled by a bunch of drama. And I wasn't trying to pick sides, but he was certainly the person that didn't have anybody there for him. So I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, I see you're having some issues. If you need somebody to talk to or vent with, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. I tried to sort of establish a sort of a friendship with him. And it started out like, yeah, that sounds good, whatever. And then nothing after that. And it's like I reached out to him again when it was happening just to check up on him. And he said he was okay or whatever, but still nothing after that. And this after we talked, like he was going to jump on a podcast with me. We were going to do some stuff together. I really thought that I was going to try and hear what his perspective is because I thought there was something deeper there. But as I've watched him over the last like 6 or 7 months, I realized there's nothing deeper there. It's just he's willing to do whatever.
Bob I did had a whole conversation with Turf was going to be there too, but Vito overslept. So by the time he got on we made sure not to do it a live stream because we didn't know what was going to end up being said. We knew that we wanted to talk to him and that we wanted to confront him about a couple of things, but it wasn't entirely going to plan to be like a hostile thing. So like the first thing we did was whenever he came on was we looked at the those websites that are like woke or not or whatever. Kind of the Rotten Tomatoes for woke shit or whatever, and that was pretty fun. But then I kind of got into like asking what's the deal with sharing these like libs of TikTok and whatnot, and we kind of didn't devolve, but it kind of did go into debate, which I was kind of prepared for, where trying to understand his perspective on that, where it's like, okay, you really get mad at like Griggs and these other guys for being racists and even homophobic, but like when it comes to this, you're just a-okay saying like dismissing the very concept of like non-binary people or whatever it is and saying that kids shouldn't be blah blah blah, like pushing those kinds of narratives.
I know we have a super chat, but I just want to say one of the reasons why I kind of cut off contact with him that wasn't related to that was the amount of anti-gay, anti-trans stuff that he was pushing on Twitter, and I was arguing with him and it just evolved into like mindless insults and stuff like that, and him sort of like not listening to anything I was saying because I was like, I know more about this than you do. I've been in the gay community my entire life, pretty much ever since high school. So I understand nuance about things that are going on, but he would rather just like promote like libs of TikTok shit and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm never going to engage with him again. And I haven't retweeted or engaged with him or retweeted and talked shit about him. I've literally just not been engaging with him on social media. So
yeah, it's amazing how people think they can talk over someone who knows what they're talking about in that topic, Exactly. In super chats on my end, so I'll read that if that's okay.
Yeah, here we go.
We've got newer artists like Peach Momoko killing it at Marvel. Why would anyone want to hire these grumpy old has-beens? They're sore losers who can't keep up. 100%. Yeah. Well, a lot of them had jobs at one point in the comic industry, and then and let's say hypothetically speaking, if you're someone who can't finish a project in a timely manner and you are working on some of the biggest books in DC and all eyes are on you to finish your damn covers, eventually you might not have a job when you come back. I don't tell you.
I mean, if you think about the structure, the hierarchy that's left of Comicsgate kind of thing, like it does seem to be structured based on who has worked in the big two before and to like how successful they were in that, and then that's basically how they seem to have worked out their hierarchy.
Or you worked on a major video game in the 90s and left, jump ship.
Right.
You
got it's all the same stuff. It's
I have a video that I never did anything with it, but I saw it randomly one time by that guy, the Earthworm Jim guy, right?
Yeah.
Where he I guess after he split with Comicsgate, and it's just a video of him just spilling tea about the whole thing, and maybe I'll check that out Friday.
Is there more to this clip, or is that it?
No, I mean that was pretty much it. I just wanted to surprise people with the Bob jump scare there.
Boo.
I
in
really,
case you're wondering, yes,
sorry, Bob,
that was all pre-planned because I knew nobody knows what Amazing Fantasy 15 is, so I know I could totally drop that on him and pretend like he knows nothing about it. So it's total gotcha. totally pre-planned. I wasn't just picking a comic book that I thought was really famous and everybody would know.
No, not at all.
What's funny about that debate and how he sort of dealt with it, or how his audience dealt with it, I think kind of ties into what we were going to talk about at one stage with sort of parasocial relationships. Is his audience obviously supplied him with what the context of what Amazing Fantasy 15 was, and I can't believe that none of them sort of thought, well, how does he not know? He's supposed to be an expert. I can't believe that none of them just didn't flip the switch for any of them, that here's this comic expert that we've been going to for our comic takes because he's an expert, and he's needing us to tell him what it is, and the way he handled it as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, my issue has been the idea that they present themselves as experts. That's one of my biggest problems with that group.
See, here's the thing. Sorry.
No, go for it.
No, you go first. I've been monopolizing all the.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, there's just this little piece of it, because I know that they don't like doing debates and everything anymore. But I would very much appreciate if he did one more, just so that someone could ask him if he's read Detective Comics number 27.
Yeah, this obscure character shows up in it. You might never heard of him before. No, but it's like, you know, I think the thing is, like, I personally do not present myself as an expert on anything. I'm just a professional yapper, is what I am. I know a lot, but I would never say I know everything without doing proper research and whatever. But there's a few things you got to know. You know, you gotta know when Spider-Man showed up. That's a key component of talking about comics. You don't have to know when the first appearance of, you know, the Green Goblin was Amazing Spider-Man 14. You don't have to know the first appearance of the Kingpin, Amazing Spider-Man 50. You don't even know the first appearance of the Punisher, Amazing Spider-Man 137. But you gotta know when Spider-Man shows up. And double check me about 137. I think the whole point was that Bob was just trying to illustrate how the story should be structured.
Yeah.
That was
character motivation,
right?
A book with very clear character motivation.
And like, just 20 pages. That issue, you know, clearly tells you who Peter Parker is, what happened, how he's Spider-Man, all this stuff, and like sets it up. And Isom, I mean, actually, from what I've seen, some reviews, Isom number 3 apparently is you know, of course, all relative to the previous issues, good.
Oh, that's not.
I've heard that it's the worst of the 3. That's what I heard. Someone said that 1 is the best.
I have heard that after. When did the first Isom come out? Was it 4 years ago?
Talked about the reveal in that yet? Have we fucking talked about that shit?
That his powers come from God or something like that.
Yes. Fucking Christ stuff.
Oh my God, is it really?
They finally revealed where his powers come from, sort of.
He has God and anime on his side.
They come from his crucifix dick.
Yes, that was a good giveaway, I think. You know, but like, yeah. What is it? His mother
has also got powers. Yeah, his mother has also got powers, which are revealed in Isom number 3. Despite the fact that it was his father that went off to war, his mother's the one who's invulnerable. But you know, woman's place is in the home, even if she is a superhuman being who can't be killed. But she reveals that their powers genetically come directly from Jesus.
Yes, and Jasmine ends up being a villain, I think, in the comic. Like the one that he was looking for, she ends up being like a heel turn or something in the comic. So
I'm sorry. I think I had an aneurysm. But what?
His mother reveals that the powers that they have that make them invulnerable are genetic. To each generation, an Isom is born. And it comes from one of his ancestors being given those powers directly from Jesus.
My thing here is that at the very beginning, when we first saw that comic book,
they're on a mission from God.
Yes,
they're just the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say it's them and Jake and Elwood.
Like the whole battle with the Ministry was legit now because he actually had a Christian superhero.
Right. I was about to say that, like, now I am confused between the character and the church. Like I'm not sure which one is which anymore.
I mean, I assumed it'd be bad, but oh my God, that's so much worse than I envisioned.
Like there's ways to do a divine hero. Well, you know, there are ways to do that. Like, you could pull an angel sanctuary and have it be a fallen angel who wants to romance the angel Gabriel, who's also reincarnated as his sister now. And then they have to have a romance now. That's how you could do it.
They could just do Jesus the Demon Slayer, give him a couple swords and have him rolling around just like slaying demons. That might be
Jesus Christ Vampire.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. There's some great comments coming through in the chat. There's one from Bob of the Old Ways, which I'd forgotten about, is that
Yeah.
In order to keep his powers, he either has to use them for good or not use them at all.
What?
So there's terms and conditions for his own.
The terms and conditions are very
So
specific.
when he's harassing people in the city and beating random people up, that's okay. I
Yeah,
guess.
when
in
he
number
beats
3,
up,
he starts to lose his powers because he used them improperly.
when he abandons his search for Jasmine and goes to beat up the guy just because it was harmful to his ego, that was fine. That was fine.
No. That's why he started losing his powers. He kept his powers while he was doing bugger all on his farm, because you can do nothing. Because if you remember, Jesus famously said, "Do good or do nothing." What hell?
Yeah, or bug around on your farm.
Wow.
You know, there's times like these that I'm very grateful I don't read these comics religiously.
Yeah.
But there was another great point from Pista Alcohol. It means that Isom's a legacy character.
Oh my God, he is.
Oh,
shit!
No, you're right.
Oh my God, he's right.
People in my comments are also joking that this also sounds suspiciously like the plot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes,
it does sound
only
like
not as good.
Yeah.
Or as bizarre for that matter.
It's so much worse.
But here's the other question, and this is Archmage Frey here says, is Jesus a Nexus being, or does every Earth have their own? My issue here with this is now you've established some sort of like Christian ideology within your story, and that makes everything else seem sort of secondary to that. Like if Jesus is powerful enough to give someone powers to use for good, then why is that not the most powerful person on the planet?
Well, that's the problem Spawn ran into at a certain point, because Spawn had the power to fight God and the devil at the same time, and then won. And then you're like, okay,
what do we do now?
Now what do you do?
Right.
Where do you go from here?
He can either use his powers for good or to do nothing at all. Don't forget that.
That sounds like a very stupid restriction on your powers, to be honest, but whatever, I guess.
But I don't know if you remember when we covered the Yaira live action trailer. Projexus is the company she works for, and I was convinced that that was actually trying to say pro Jesus.
Oh, that's true. It's all a Jesus allegory, guys. The entire
adopt or die
rip of her. Yeah, because she's pro-life. Adopt or die.
You know, sometimes I kind of wonder if these writers actually know what they're doing. I'm not.
It's Eric July, so
I mean, hot take: Eric July might not be the best writer. I'm just
what?
I know, radical perspective.
I think you might be looking at it wrong here, though, because from a business perspective, this makes a lot of sense because it gives them an excuse to have the next like 3 issues just be a description of Isom's lineage. You know, you can just list off, and then he begat him, and you know what I mean. Like it's a great.
So wait a minute. This
Good
makes it very interesting. He doesn't like titles being passed on. Like we talked about the legacy character thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What if he does show like a previous version of Isom as a different person with the name Isom as their superhero name?
So it's Spawn. So it's just Spawn. It's just different. It's like there's 15 Hell Spawn, and they're all there.
That the first, like official superhero was the Phantom. He had one foot in kind of the previous style of comic, and then one foot, he's the first one to wear a domino mask and his underwear outside of, what I mean.
But actually, Dane, the first hero is Gilgamesh.
The one you're like the 18th or 19th in his lineage, who goes by the Phantom. So like literally the first superhero was a fucking legacy character.
That's true. Or Zorro too. That's another example. Like they're all very like legacy inherently is an element of these superhero stories in general.
You mean cheap knockoffs?
Yeah, cheap knockoffs, exactly.
Not to get too technical.
Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't one argue that Jesus is a legacy character?
Terrible. But no, yeah, it's funny how that works out. Like they're very against legacy characters, yet seem to create legacy characters because they know it's a good trope. They just hate to admit it's a good trope because it ruins their God.
Isn't Jesus a legacy character? Because essentially he's got the powers of God.
That's true.
I'm sure I'm allowed as a Catholic to answer that question.
So I'll go ahead and break it down. So Jesus is a cheap knockoff of God.
Oh,
and then Isom's a cheap knockoff of Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
Jesus deserves reparations for this, I think.
Definitely, 100%.
God itself. Well, I mean, like in general, like there's like all joking aside, like, you know, I love religious horror. I love religious superheroes. A lot you can do with that, like the iconography and the mythology. And somehow they found the worst way to use it.
Yes.
Like there's so much potential for religious imagery. Like Ghost Rider is a religious superhero. If you think about it, it's all anchored. I mean, granted, Marvel has their own cosmology, but like it's anchored in hell. That's a Christian concept. There's a lot you can do with that idea. And they found the worst way to do it. Like somehow.
No.
Waiting 3 years and 3 issues to reveal this, whereas it could have just been in the first sort of page description. It could have been saying like he inherited his powers through his bloodline, going back 2,000 years, and then or let people think for themselves what could that mean, how it relates to 2,000, what happened 2,000 years ago.
Did you
rather than keeping this mystery box?
Did you hear about the Jesus horror film they're making with Nicolas Cage? The horror film about Nicolas Cage. It's called The Carpenter's Son.
No.
That I can guarantee you that's going to be better than Isom in terms of religious integration. But it's like it's a real movie. I mean, it looks like a low budget like horror film, but it's pissing off a lot of conservatives, like super conservatives on Twitter or TikTok who have never heard of a religious horror film before. But
I mean, Nicolas Cage just bounces between genuinely good movies and then just so bad they're good movies, and he just bounces between them. So no matter which one he hits, it's going to be more entertaining than Isom.
100%. And you have what's his name, Pig. That's a great movie. Now he's John Madden apparently, and he's in a Jesus horror film at the same time. It's like, what is this?
So it's like a month old now, but I mean, I just learned about it. That you know,
I couldn't remember what Robert Meyer Burnett did. I know he done something
with Bryan Singer, like he's just you know.
Oh, that's of course,
filmmaker, and not credibly accused of.
Am I gonna have to side with freaking like these guys against Bryan Singer? Because I will. Bryan Singer sucks.
Yeah.
Bryan Singer the worst.
Robert Meyer Burnett, for some reason, has accepted that Bryan Singer's fine and interviewed him.
Well, also, if you go check out his Twitter, it is an upsetting amount of just like genocide cheerleading for Palestine or against Palestine. It is
because is he does he still appear with John Campea? Because I thought they
he does again. I remember he had left the show.
Yeah,
or whatever. And then now he's back.
I don't think he's like a regular, but I think they bring him on occasionally.
Yeah, he comes on once in a while, and I've heard that I spoke with Crazy Joe from Crazy Joe's Concession Stand about this, and he had said that I think, and I hope I'm not putting him out there with this one, but we talked about it, that it could have been due to fan backlash or viewer backlash about him getting rid of Robert from the show. So
there is like this weird little corner that's like anti John Campea on YouTube. But if you look, you can find it. It's bizarre. Like not say that he's not worthy of criticism or people not liking him, but it's like really dedicated channels that are just like John Campea sucks.
I'm not a fan of John Campea, but I'm not going to
I'm not a fan
my
either,
life to
but
hate him.
I just don't watch him. I just don't.
I found I don't know, something about him is very. There's been a few cases where I've watched him, like I really disagree with what he's saying, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna watch this for fun.
If I watch a movie review, I feel like I agree with him maybe like 10% of the things he's saying, and then the rest I'm like, just no.
I really did not like his She-Hulk reviews when those were going on, because I'm like, dude, you're not getting it. Like I felt like it's one of those things that the show wasn't for him, and I think he made it like the show's problem. It didn't appeal to him, I feel like, but. Again, that's a whole.
Was a lot of people's problems. A lot of people's problems with that show was that it wasn't for them, and they didn't realize, because the amount of people that didn't get it was a sitcom just baffled me. They're like, well, why is this? Why are they making jokes all the time? It's a sitcom,
and it's a sitcom aimed primarily at like women in their 30s. Like that's like the target. That's the audience that they're aiming for. It's
exactly the kind of television that I love personally.
Yeah, it's fun.
Having recently finished the Golden Girls 7 seasons.
Damn.
Yeah. Did you get to the Golden Palace as well? You got.
We watched a couple of episodes, but that's the
which is weird
because come on. And it's Mitchell Hurwitz who's the exec producer on that, which is just weird that from the Golden Palace to Arrested Development is a strange career trajectory.
I wanted to answer this real quick, guys, because specifically one of the things that pops out in memory, because it was like, holy shit, that's very helpful, is we had not been, so if you've seen like me and Bob and Turf, whenever we kind of did a few different times we covered bounding into comics, we like to think that we contributed to, you notice how you don't see them used as much anymore, that we contributed to that. But so we were not aware of how mask off they had become over like the previous few months at that point. Vito had sent me like screenshots of several of their titles, and I was just like, holy fucking shit. Like I knew they'd done like a really kind of transphobic one here and there or whatever, but I didn't know that they were just like all in, hitting the gas on mask off bigotry as like the title. And then also having goddamn Pastor, what was his name?
I don't remember. God, it's been a while.
Michael Burbage, that's what it was.
Yes.
Like at in every article, like, Michael Burbage telling you why trans people are not valid in God's eyes and stuff. It's like, what the fuck?
And it's funny, if you look at Bounding, they've toned down a lot recently, and now it's Fandom Pulse is the one that's like absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think Bounding got purchased by a larger company, and they didn't want the controversial stuff on there.
But then that's the only thing they were good at,
right?
It's like
it was a terrible site. Period.
Well, a lot of people left after that. I think the one of the guys stayed connected to it. That's
and then they tried to do a like a Shillcast ripoff stream. You remember that, Bob? We watched that.
Yeah,
Very much like they were trying to compete with us. It was fucking funny.
I remember when they tried to cover us as well. That was
I'm just getting like Valnet vibes from all of this, and I'm having PTSD from this discussion. I'll have you know.
I got
my experience with Valnet.
I got a sense that he, I felt like he genuinely, in that regard, didn't like that kind of. What he said to me was, "I don't like religious bigotry," which I'm like, okay, why religious? Why not just any bigotry? But whatever, So anytime it was like they were using specifically religion to be shitty about whatever, that was something that apparently triggered him.
I think Vito is fake.
Yeah, that's what I
point blank. Period. Vito is a fake person. He's someone that cannot not be telling a joke or in a bit or whatever, and anytime he retweets something or posts something, it's always like, well, it's just a joke. I'm contrary about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's his whole thing. I don't like people like that in general. I find them to be, I don't like the fence sitting shit. It's just not something that I'm down for. It comes across very disingenuous to me.
Agreed. Yeah. Again, I forgot he existed until now, apparently, but everything you're saying with this guy makes me not like him. I tried to break through that shit.
Yeah.
There's no point. Well, Eric, that's because I think you're like me in the sense that you look for the best in people, even when there is none.
Yeah.
So that's a problem I've been noticing a lot lately, where I've been trusting people who turned out to not be as good as I would hope. And, it backfires terribly, and it's not fun.
He was a big lesson for me. That was one where I finally was like, you know what? I need to start being a little bit more, careful about who I'm trying to reach out to and stuff like that. So,
to the rest of us on this stream, I can say, good job. Keep up the act. He still hasn't worked it out yet. So, I'm keeping it.
The comment section believes I'm a two-faced snake person inside of a human suit. So,
that's kind of cool, though.
It is cool. I can shed, and it's really fun. I get to scare people with my shedded skin.
I have to point out that Brian Cronin is the shit. Okay, I don't care. CBR sucks, but Brian Cronin, fucking good writer.
As a former CBR writer, I will say right now, Brian has earned my undying respect for how professional he is behind the scenes as well. Guy deserves a lot better than he's getting.
Anytime I happen upon one of his things that I haven't read or whatever, I'll definitely read it. So
yeah, dude is a freaking veteran. One day I'll do a Valnet video, but I will never disrespect that man's work. He is a professional.
I do see you have like a nerdrotic thumbnail down there. I don't know what that's about. Is that a video or is that a thumbnail?
So it's just a video. Apparently the UK has fallen. There's no free speech in the UK anymore because this weirdo got arrested or something for talking. Yes, he just said some stuff.
It wasn't free speech though. He wasn't arrested for a free speech issue. They keep saying that, but that's not.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it was for many.
He actually assaulted a kid. I think it was what it was. He was harassing a 17-year-old on social media, and then slapped her phone out of her hand in public and like basically threatened her. So that was what he was.
Wait, wasn't that just what he was on the?
Are you telling me these guys are framing something in a dishonest way to somehow push their message?
I'm shocked.
What?
Yeah,
is
hold on.
Lying.
Hold on.
How do you argue that?
So he repeatedly harassed Sophia Brooks, who is 17, back in 2024, online, trying to distress and cause harm to this person. It was criminal harassment. It wasn't just a back and forth. It was like criminal harassment. He broke her phone during an incident outside of a conference in Westminster, knocked her down, throwing her phone and causing an estimated property damage of almost $400 at that time.
So I want to clarify something because I think maybe I'm wrong about this, but my understanding was that that is an unrelated case to his arrest right now. So he was on the way to court to show up for that when he got arrested for the
so there's a second part to that. Yeah, the second part is that he went online. This was during, because that's one charge. Then there's a second one, which is the incite, because that was the criminal harassment and damage case. The second one, which got him in trouble again, was an incitement of violence where he told people if someone is a quote unquote trans-identified male in a female only space, that person is committing violence. They're being abusive. So make a scene.
Has ruined this guy's life. Like,
punch them in the balls and call the cops on them. So this is the comment that got him in trouble for going to court. So this isn't like him expressing some sort of like idea that I just disagree with people. He literally assaulted someone under the age of 18. And while being up for that, going to trial for that, he talked about assaulting trans people for just existing in a space.
While going to a hearing about a case of other trans related.
And this is when he came back. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to give the UK legal perspective. Unlike America, we have slightly more harsh laws regarding certain types of speech.
Right.
Not all speech, but you cannot tell somebody to be violent, basically.
Right. It's inciting violence, right?
Yes, which obviously isn't covered in American law unless you have these very specific circumstances where it can be considered. But
I would say telling people, like, there's a responsibility also when you have a lot of followers that you're telling people to go out and assault people for just being in a particular space. That's, to me, that is literally, you shouldn't be doing that. You should not be doing that. That is a problem. But just the fact that he was already in trouble for assaulting a kid is like, what are we doing here? Like, you're defending this person? He attacked a child.
Okay, so what does the Muppets have to do with this?
So their narrative is that their narrative is that he was arrested solely for calling somebody a Muppet. That's it. That's their narrative.
Oh.
Also, very subtle suggestion with the V and all the people in the V. You know, the Guy Fawkes mask there. What fucking losers! I mean, this should tell anybody that, like, if anybody's a fan of this channel and thinks that, like, I don't know, or you're wondering why he would cover this, it's because they don't care about the media that they claim to care about. They care about pushing the literal fucking socio-political message agendas of the
which
far
is
right.
Anti-trans. That's what they want to do here. It's anti-trans. They want to push that agenda.
Also, why would you ever want to rally behind this guy who's like notoriously one of the biggest like falls from grace in BBC show?
Transphobia ruined this guy's life like it's a fucking hardcore drug addiction or something.
He made a fucking video crying that he can't work with anybody anymore because no one wants to associate with this fucking hateful ass. I mean, like, nobody wants to be associated with this guy.
He went from making some of the biggest comedies in the BBC to being like the biggest laughing stock in any industry over, like, because of his own damn fault. He just couldn't shut up.
Well, and then
stopped talking, he'd been fine, but he couldn't.
And it ruined him twice too, because he destroyed his entire family life. Everybody who ever loved him left, and he thought, okay, well, at least I'm gonna get a crumb of attention from J.K. Rowling, and then she just fucking ghosted him.
She ignores it.
It was like until now. That was why I, like, in my short about the subject, I was like, well, congratulations, she noticed you. Like,
well, I mean, the thing is, that Neon here says even Rowling apparently wants nothing to do with him. It's because he doesn't understand that he is not part of the movement. He is just some random person screaming on the internet. They do not want to be associated with him. He's wasting his time.
he's
he's not a
he's just kind of
comedian.
weird on top of all
Just-
that.
Just to make it absolutely clear, he's not a comedian telling jokes. He's a comedy. He is a former comedy writer, I should say, who now says bad things about trans people
What did he write?
online. That's what he does.
yeah,
He wrote
I think
Father
that- I think
Ted. He co-wrote Father Ted originally,
Which you would know additionally if you listen to the video of his arrest, because he brought it up instantly.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you know who I am? So he co-wrote that with Arthur Matthews, who went on to do Toast of London with Matt Berry. Then he wrote The IT Crowd, which had its issues with certain storylines, but is generally well regarded. And it was after that, those two sort of hit shows, that his fall from grace happened, when he decided to become this crusader, anti-trans crusader.
This is the most relevant thing that has happened to him, right? This is the only thing that he's done that has had any relevance to the anti-trans movement at all. Is that now they can use him as sort of a poster child for, look what happens when we say things. You know what I mean?
Any fucking idiot that wants to try and oh, they're not hateful or whatever, nerdrotic. Like, come the fuck on. Why would he just?
And the reason why it's completely driven by their anti-trans rhetoric is they've never talked about him before.
Yeah,
they've never mentioned him before. This is the first time they've ever talked about him, and he's been doing this for like 5-6 years now.
More like 10 or 15.
Yeah,
at this point,
been a while. Yeah,
And the thing that I want to understand, especially like if it's being framed as a comedian being arrested for telling jokes, is do Nerdrotic or his audience or whomever, do they think that he doesn't sincerely believe what he said? You know, like if you're going to go for the joke angle, oh, he was saying hit trans people as a joke. Like, do you think that he doesn't think that trans people and being in bathrooms is violence? Right? Because obviously that is his opinion. You know, like it's not a joke if you're just saying what you think, you know? Well, and it's like you'd be hard pressed to get someone to be like, oh yeah, obviously he doesn't believe that. Like,
it's also interesting that they made millions of videos about Brie Larson simply saying a movie wasn't made for straight white men, and she never incited any sort of violence whatsoever. So they consider that to be so awful, they can make a million videos about it. But if Brie Larson made one comment about kicking men in the nuts, they would be calling for her cancellation across the board. Well, she shouldn't be working anymore. She's anti-man. She wants to assault men. This would be the videos we would see from them.
Well, and if she got arrested for that, they would be celebrating it, right?
Yes, I agree with that.
Ah, well, looks like you got a taste of your own medicine, like that sort of,
Well, the other thing too is that with they don't mention his name in the thumbnail or the title. He is.
Nobody's heard of him outside of the UK.
Yeah, who the fuck knows who Glinner is anymore?
Yeah, no one cares. That's the thing that's so funny about this. They're just using him as like a quick, cheap tool for a quick.
It's
cheap
like the
video.
Grums fall off. Like nobody talks about Grums.
Well, I mean, after the whole expose about his, underground porn ring, that kind of killed his momentum a little bit.
Oh, you didn't hear about that, Dane? I'm sure Ant knows the whole story.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but...
He was running like BDSM porn videos, and that got exposed. This one guy, it was like a basic search, like a basic like white pages search for some of his I think he filed for like bankruptcy too, if I remember correctly, on this, or he filed for something. And they had all the public records, and this guy online just found all of them, posted all of them, said, "Oh yeah, Grums ran this underground BDSM cat smut video ring for like years under the name, I think, of a woman. I think he used like a woman's name for his account. It was basically role playing his BDSM fantasies while making these BDSM videos.
Yeah, it's hard to call other people degenerates when you're running
the most degenerate
stuff. Yeah.
And he quickly like deleted everything. He hastily like, oh, the website's down, I'm shutting it all down. But like, of course, you shut something down, it leaves a record of you shutting it down. So and that's also notwithstanding with his failure to deliver on a product. It's amazing how this keeps happening. They keep kind of trying to promote these products that they sell, and then they just never.
This god awful mech game that just looks like complete and utter shit.
But they'll sell backer goals with extra PNGs for you to buy. $40 for a PNG that you can get for free online.
Yeah.
Shh, don't say that part.
Yeah, right. I mean, it works for the gotcha games. I guess it works for them.
No, there's no flattering image of that person. It's just
He's a weird looking. He's a weird looking.
That is the most flattering one. Nerdrotic.
Yeah, that's the best one. Actually, it may just be the most.
It might be AI too. They might have put in a picture of him and said, "Make this person look good." And that's what they
make him look somewhat likable. Because he looks so. There was the interview with him where they shot him from the side because it's the only way not to show his face front on. So you get a good look at his jawline, but that's not his face. He's a weird man.
And the only reason, people like that who spend their entire career criticizing how ugly and unattractive people are, I have no problem talking shit about the way they look.
No, I mean that's the thing. If you're a genuinely sweet, kind-hearted person, then the way he looks, he would just kind of look like a goofy dude, people we lovable, whatever. But then he spends all of his time talking about how ugly everybody else is. It's like the call is coming from inside the house, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Just to give you a measure of the kind of person he's certainly become, if you look at every other comedian who's done sort of bad trans material, or every comedian who's done sort of easy, cliched trans material, or said anything what's the word I'm looking for?
Bigoted, really.
Well, yeah, anything bigoted or controversial. Usually you'll find that somebody will come out and say something of support for them, or they'll apologize. There's different people have all been in this situation where they've said or done something that either they or somebody else thinks is wrong, but nobody has come to his support. Everybody has abandoned him because of how extreme he's become on this issue and how unrepentant
pathetic he is about it too. He makes everyone look bad by comparison. Like J.K. Rowling wants nothing to do with him because just associating with him is makes her look worse. Makes her look like low class by comparison. I don't know. He's a black hole of charisma. I don't know what to say.
Well, you know what? I brought this up here. So we brought up J.K. Rowling, and we've also brought transphobia. So I just wanted to share this because this is the goofiest thing I've ever seen in my life. So obviously there's this tweet from her. Tell me again how gender identity ideology isn't homophobic. Would you trust this UK doctor who was suspended from practicing by medical council, now heads up quasi-medical trans advocacy group, Gender GP? Be sympathetic to a young girl who's attracted to other girls. Listen, I don't really care what J.K. Rowling has to say, but I find it hilarious because she shared this, and it's actually a video, and it's
oh my god,
pure AI slop that she is sharing, and it's what the fuck are
that's
you?
Incoherent.
Did you not play that? That is garbage. I just find it hilarious.
She is brain rotted. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Transphobia literally makes you fucking brain rotten. It seems like you just become incapable of anything but yelling about people in bathrooms.
It's not even coherent. It doesn't.
No.
You think they'd have more? She is one of the wealthiest women in the entire world. She has a multi-billion-dollar empire of media.
Don't you have anything else to do?
Well,
I've said before
on Twitter and share AI slop.
We talked about this before. When you reach a level of richness, you don't have to do anything like this. You can literally just not say anything. You're so rich, you can live on your yacht. You can spend money on all these expensive things. You can go to all of these big events and things like that. If you choose to be bigoted, you do it because you want to, not because you have to, but because you want to. This is somebody that is so rich that she could have never said anything about this for the rest of her life and everything would have been fine. So she is just a hateful person. That's the reality of it. These are people that actually are hateful people.
If you want an actual example of this, have you all heard of Enya, the singer?
Yes.
Yeah. She is incredibly rich. She is a multi-millionaire.
Well, sail away, sail away, sail away. So
yeah, that was huge. But she releases an album every couple of years or so.
Right.
Loads of her fans. She's got a huge fan base. They all go out and buy it. And all she does is she lives in a castle in Ireland and doesn't do any press, doesn't ever promote anything, just releases music every now and again. And I can't imagine that she is less happy in her life than J.K. Rowling is.
Right.
I would probably say more happy, most likely.
I would
She
say
just chills in the castle.
1,000 times more happy.
I just like, this is my issue with a lot of these celebrities that do this kind of stuff. You are actively choosing to be hateful. Like that's you're making that choice, because when you have a level of richness like this, you have there's no social problems you have in the world. You have enough money to do anything you want. So
do you ever wonder if they're just so bored that they just like hyperfixate on something and they can't let it go? And there's just no one in their life to tell them, "Hey, knock it off. Don't be."
Here's the crazy thing. I'm going to put myself in this position. If I were the person that created Harry Potter, I would be doing that my entire life. I would be going out, promoting it, showing up at events, trying to expand that brand even bigger than what it is. I might work on some new books, create some new stories in that world, do some of these things. I wouldn't spend my time and I know what you're saying, like she's bored. I get that, but I don't know if I would want to spend my time getting online harassing marginalized people. Like, I feel like that's a level of boredom I can't even comprehend. Yeah,
well, that's the thing too that's so strange. I know she did start writing the other book series. That even that book series devolved into like her obsession. Like, at first it was like a normal-ish mystery novel series. It was a normal-ish crime. It would be no different than like in your James Patterson novels. Maybe a little higher quality, maybe, but like as it kept going, it just got. The obsession took over. The black mold spread. Yeah, the brain rot black mold spread to these works, and it's like the whole work just becomes her obsession. It's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I think rich people need to just start being quiet. I hate to say that, but like you have too much money. Like you don't have any reason to fight with us. Like there's no reason.
Be like George Harrison and like fun, cool movies every couple of
so
years.
In following the theme of the first one, the nerdrotic thing, and then this. We got a third one, an example of these grifters, these people that are just so dedicated to the grift that they kind of reveal it with how far they reach sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to run away soonish because I have to make dinner soon, but not yet. I want to see this first because I'm curious.
Got a critical drinker post here that has been community noted as a fake tweet.
What is this? I'm trying to
see. Sydney Sweeney. And the tweet, the fake part of it is the one that's attached to the photo, I'm guessing. Sydney Sweeney pretending to be a ballerina, and an ad is so disrespectful to all the girls who have spent their lives learning the craft just for some basic blonde girl to come in and pretend to be one of them. Shameful.
So it would appear that Critical Drinker might, at least in this case, I don't know if he's done it otherwise, looks for, the one example of some stupid take that he can then, blow up and make it a big deal. Except in this case, it's not even a real thing at all. So
right. I know, right? Question mark. Tom Cruise wasn't an actual Navy command pilot. Sly Stone didn't become the real heavyweight championship of the world, and Ian McKellen didn't even know how to use real magic. So disrespectful.
How bored do you have to be to make up a fake hate tweet? Like, I can go on TikTok right now and find something stupid to get angry about.
There is no lack of like Reddit posts you could talk about or tweets. Like there's so many. Like
there's a lot of people who have let themselves get radicalized to the fucking far right based on that. Just based on some chuds doing that shit. Like finding the one random weirdo that's saying something dumb and acting like it's the entire.
Hell, on TikTok, sorry. Cut you off there.
I was just gonna say, I think it's easier for us because all we have to do is look for people who are just spreading flat out lies, and it becomes easy to debunk at that point. These guys have to dig around for like the fringe takes they have to the most fringe takes they can find and try to blow those up like they're actually like something when in reality we're dealing with like
that's the closest thing to work that the like Critical Drinker does.
I think the problem is they're not connected to where the crazy people actually are, which is TikTok. Like there are so many nutty people on TikTok I am sure someone on TikTok said this verbatim, but they just aren't going to look on TikTok because it's beneath them or not their thing. Like there's no shortage of nutty people on that site that you could like find.
I mean, the other example
Go ahead, Ryan. Someone like the Critical Drinker wouldn't fall for anything like this lightly, though, would he? I mean, he's very critical is in his name. He's an expert on making film. He knows what to do about writing and things like that. Surely he would be able to spot a fake tweet under normal circumstances. So why on earth did he manage to fall for this? Which would take literally seconds to check whether this account actually exists on Twitter if you're posting it on Twitter. And yet he didn't have the due diligence to do that. Weird.
I mean, as many of, I'm sure everybody knows, I'm sure you've gotten a comment that has informed all of us on here that he is a very successful author that has written bestseller books. So surely he's an educated man.
I mean, I've also seen comments about how he might have like beat up a small child.
Supposedly, allegedly,
Yeah, allegedly.
Maybe allegedly, not even like definitely allegedly, just possibly.
Well,
Allegedly.
he definitely charged.
He was charged.
He was charged. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was.
Yeah,
official.
he was charged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, I remember the other time that we covered a tweet from him a couple of years ago. Now I think, Bob, you remember it was about the Indiana Jones movie, and it was actually ended up being from a Nazi account that he had shared.
Oh, that seems vaguely
it was like,
familiar.
What critical drinker talking to what?
Nazi either. So, yeah.
He's spreading Nazi propaganda. What?
Who could have seen that coming? I'm not even sure he was aware. I'm not saying he's even aware of it, but it wouldn't surprise me if he jumped on the first chance he got.
I know that Eric looked at a subreddit recently. Did you see any kind of yikesy stuff like that?
From who? I'm sorry. What were you saying? Like you mean like more like polarizing, like
like more
political
explicitly
stuff.
far right. Like there was that one post about what was it, Wolfenstein or something, where it was like, oh
yeah. I mean, he's made several of those videos that are like basically propaganda videos that are less about the art and more about culture, and it's kind of ignoring like well, not really ignoring, but sort of leaning into a lot of the talking points we hear from people like Matt Walsh and Tim Pool and stuff like that. A lot of that's been showing up on his channel recently, but I can't speak for his live streams. I can't sit through those things, so those are probably even worse. But I can't sit through Friday Night Tights.
The atmosphere of his audience being so cool and permissive of literal white nationalist Nazi talking points were in at least one example that I've seen.
Yeah, I watched a video from him, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and it literally just dived into like white nationalist stuff, and I was like, I'm not going to watch this anymore. So
the thing with his stuff is that he blankets it enough ironic mind poisoning that he gets away with it. That's the thing. That's how
he's perfected that. Yeah, he's perfected that on a show.
The thing that he does actually pisses me off so much that I wrote it in a lyric in a song that I'm currently working on. Is he goes, if I was a cynical man, I would say blah 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 blah, and then he just says the thing that he wants to say, and it's like, you fucking coward, you know.
Well, the funny thing about that is actually something that's culturally relevant to like the gay community, which is why I'm surprised that he does it, which is like considered shade throwing, which is like a drag queen, for example, would look at another drag queen and say something like, well, I'm not going to be mean. I could say that your wig is ugly. I could say that your outfit sucks. I could say that your heels are busted or whatever. You say all the things that you would say, but you frame it as if you're not actually saying it. That makes it okay for you to say it. And it's just weird that he sort of turned that into like this grift thing that has become a huge part of his personality online, to be honest.
Well, that's the problem too. Like he just, first off, now I'm imagining Critical Drinker as a drag queen. It's a very frightening thought. I don't think he'd be very good at it.
He's a very long wig. That's all I'm going to say.
He'd either be really bad at it or uncomfortably good at it. I'm not sure which is the more frightening possibility. But yeah, you're right. You're completely right. But like, I actually find what's funny is like a lot of his fans, when you call him a white nationalist, like they'll blow it off as like a joke. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This and the third.
You're just jealous.
Yeah. But if you say he's bad at movie criticism, you get really offended. If you say he's incompetent.
Oh, that's going to be a video. I'm going to make a video about that soon. That I'm going to do a whole video about how he's just bad as a movie critic. Go through and look at all the details on it. And
it's funny. Like you look at like what he says. It's like he talks about like theme and stuff like that, and it's what he's like, oh, no one knows really what theme is or this, that, and whatever. And it's like, well, buddy, then you talk about the theme next review you do. Like, what are you talking? He's so inconsistent with his own views. It's not even funny. But like,
I mean, I think Bob's done in some of his videos. I've seen Bob like catch him in complete contradictions of
we watched that
thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
And then there's like his Thunderbolts review where he like completely misrepresented what the film was about, like completely like.
Oh yeah. Well, when I looked at that video, I think I did a reaction video to that.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that he didn't even watch the movie. I'm like, I don't think he watched the movie. I think the first maybe 30 or 40 minutes he got information about, and then he didn't watch anything else after that.
Yeah.
I remember I think I watched your video because I didn't watch the actual review, but like I think he talks about how Val hit the kill switch on
which is
Sentry.
false.
And it was like, no, that does not happen.
No. There's a lot of things that he says about the third act that didn't actually happen. And I thought that was really interesting because he probably, if he did watch it, he watched a bad rip online and he didn't finish it, or he just got information from some other place.
You probably just read a summary on Wikipedia or 4chan or whatever.
Yeah. But the thing that makes me so mad about that isn't that because I expect him to lie. Like that's an expectation of these guys. I know they're going to lie. But the thing about it is the people in the comments that know that he's lying about it and they just don't care that he's doing it. That's the part that really gets me.
But they don't watch movies. Like he's mostly people don't actually watch film. Like I actually took a trip onto Mauler's subreddit fairly recently, and it's another interesting community. I'm gonna say right now they're interesting because like they would respond to a couple of my videos, and half of them had seen the video, the other half had not, and you can tell which half had seen the video because they were all being downvoted. Because you know it was like really like night and day. I'm like, wow, this person's saying something intelligent, and then there's like 50 people saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about, this, that, whatever. And it's like, but buddy, they actually know what they're talking about, and they're still critical, but like they're at least critical from a place where they've seen it. And it's like the entire community's like that. I went through all these threads, and like every single person, it's like there's like 20 blind people who jump in and like get angry at a topic. And I was even starting to reply to a few of them. And like I was getting comments saying, hey, I don't get why people are so angry at you. I think you have some good points. This, I have issues with this and that, but like I think you still got something going on there. And they were getting downvoted. Like all of the ones that were intelligent were getting downvoted. So there's smart people in that community, but the louder ones are the ones who just blindly like respond and obey. It's really sad.
I get strong I'm trying to keep my numbers pumped up vibe from his content lately.
Well, all of them. Well, what are the numbers recently?
Yeah, I just saw the one about TV's kind of sucks now. They don't have any specific thing to talk about at the moment. They're very, very like
Amber Heard. Come the fuck on.
Yeah, I brought the Amber Heard one in our secret Discord. But
that seems like the kind of thing that he's got. Like that, there's just a break glass in case of low views emergency.
What was that, like 3 years ago? And he's doing an Amber Heard video now. It's kind of like a greatest hits.
Production hell, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Right after he did a Brie Larson one like 2 weeks before that or something too.
Honestly, I'm surprised his Red Sonja video did as well as it did. Honestly,
but if you go up, Dane, there is a Brie Larson one right there with She-Hulk and Echo right there in the on the right.
I do, yeah. Red Sonja's easy target for him, and let's face it, like I did not have significantly high hopes for that movie. The trailer looked bad, and I'll be honest, I don't like the original. I think the original's lame. So yeah.
I mean, we called this. We said they were going to run out of stuff, and it's happening. They've officially ran out of things to complain about now. There's
like I'm excited for Deathstalker. I want to see Deathstalker. I'm sorry, it looks stupid as shit. I want to see.
But why are they? My thing is, this would be the perfect time for them to prove us wrong and to shift over to stuff that they're enjoying and start talking about the things they really like as a primary source.
I mean, come on.
They had a Ghostbusters 2016 video after 2 more Ghostbusters.
Oh my god.
He does these production hell videos where he talks about films with troubled productions, and from what I can tell, mostly the information comes. He just copy pastes from other sources.
Wikipedia, probably. He goes into Wikipedia and looks up that.
Because I actually did a video on Wizard of Oz myself where I talked about I wouldn't say the production was troubled. It had its issues, but my perspective was this is a film that initially flopped on release. Which, if it came out today, they would be calling a woke flop.
Right.
And yet now it's considered a classic. So my perspective was looking at it through the lens of just because it didn't make enough money at the box office doesn't mean it's not going to one day become one of the most popular films ever made.
Yeah.
And
most successful movies ever made.
Yeah. And so the trouble production that it had multiple writers, multiple directors, things like that. There were a couple of on-set accidents, which were horrific. And obviously the way they treated Judy Garland was also horrific. And and it didn't recoup its budget for 10 years, which is exactly the sort of film that the Critical Drinker complains about today as being an example of why Hollywood's in the toilet. So for him to do a production hell video on it, I do wonder what conclusion he reaches when he gets to the point where he has to talk about how it flopped on release.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the point I like to make is like he seems to be doing lots of greatest hits right now. He's not treading any new ground. Oh, let's do some greatest hits. Fun fact: that's typically what artists do when they're ending.
Well, I mean, also like think about when he hit 2 million subscribers. How long ago was that? Right, and now he's at 2.36. I mean, way more than I'll ever have. Sure, but like that does show a pretty clear stagnation in terms of.
What's funny is he's still getting millions of views, but like I think he's just creatively burned out.
Yeah,
I think is what it is. I think his audience still shows up because they're still coming to all these videos when the other grifters aren't getting them. But like,
you got to think that the reaction to his fucking little stupid movie has probably got to him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it shook him. I think it shook him because like. Once you see the wizard is a man behind a curtain, that kind of kills the momentum a little bit there. And like, I think also the other thing is, I think he realizes he's surrounded by a bunch of idiots. Like really, like aside from of all people he hangs out with, the most intelligent guy's Mahler. Like everyone else is like, he's hanging around Shatterversity. Like that's got to get to you after a while.
And then I think the problem also is that he thinks he's far more intelligent than he is, and again, this is something he's revealed in the live streams where he goes off talking about something to do with Hollywood and the actual business of Hollywood that he knows nothing about, and makes these wild assertions.
The confidence with which him and Mahler were talking about Superman not hitting 600 million in that one video was like, oh my god.
And then it crossed 600 million.
Yeah, and then it did it. Yeah.
he, as Birdman points out, he literally says, I didn't think this film was going to get anywhere near 600 million when it was at 586 million. It's like, how close do you want it to get?
At that point, I'm looking at going, how does it not get it? How does it?
Mahler says like, I think everybody knows by now that whenever a movie goes to digital, that means it's not doing anything in the theater anymore or whatever.
Well, it's baffling because in the modern film market.
I mean, I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to be easier for me to track down a showing of Superman than it is for me to track down a showing of the new Toxic Avenger, which was a pain for me to do last week.
That sucks. It's so hard to find Toxic Avenger. I love Toxic Avenger.
That was a fun fucking movie. The new one's so much fun.
Oh, I love that. I haven't seen the new one yet. I love the original. My spouse hates
the original. Is fun too. Yeah, the original. The new one's definitely better made. But it is so fun. Oh, and I do love that the villain's mansion, he calls it Chud Haven, which is hilarious.
Oh, speaking of which, by the way, I saw that. I think it's Nerdrotic and I think maybe just Nerdrotic, but they've talked about Toxic Avenger and said that the movie makes you the villain, as in talking to their audience, saying that's who the villain is. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about with that.
Have they ever seen a trauma film though? Like. Because they always talk about like how the woke mob is trying to censor media or whatever, but like Trauma's great. I don't know a single person on this side of the political aisle who doesn't love a good Trauma film.
It's not for everybody.
No, it's not for everyone. That's fair. That's fair. I love Trauma. I should specify.
I mean, I will say minor spoilers, very, very minor. There's the robbery scene at the restaurant. And the restaurant is called Miss Burger. And the reason they're robbing it is because it used to be called Mr. Burger. And they're outraged over the gender swap. And the cops are literally outside going, it's the exact same burgers. What do you want? And they're like, no, you don't understand. They're taking our identity. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Can you imagine how these guys would have reacted when Miss Pac-Man came out?
Yeah.
Outrage. They're gonna smash the arcade cabinets. Probably because the game is harder than the original Pac-Man and they would lose to it. But
because one other thing, I didn't realize it came out this soon, and for the same reason as you, Bob, I'm going to try and see Spinal Tap 2 this week because I don't know how well it's going to perform in theaters because
I don't know
people younger than us. I don't have no idea who Spinal Tap are. Sadly,
I don't think Spinal Tap is That's coming out now. I haven't seen a single ad for it.
I've seen some.
I think I must be in the algorithm for it because
probably.
Not only have I seen the trailers, but they're doing the interview circuit as well.
Yeah.
So
I would say I do have to jump off now, though. I have to work tonight, so I'm gonna head out.
I gotta jump out as well because I have to cook
I'm about
dinner.
to have to get off. My
friend's
computer's
house.
actually fucking up right now, so I can't even see my full screen.
I want to thank everybody though. We had so many viewers tonight between all of our channels. Thanks everybody for being here and subscribe to everybody on this panel.
Obviously, Anthony Gramuglia. I think most of you guys are here for that one. But you got Actual Fandom, Organized Chaos, Nothing But Media, Eric Debunks, Eric's Reloaded.
Hey, I had like 90
edgier than
people
that.
here.
All of them are linked in the description under all of these streams, except for I guess probably not a Ant stream. But
yeah,
they all know
I just quickly assembled a description. I can add. Send me the if they're watching on repeat. Send me the all the what you put. I'll just copy it in there so I can like.
I'll send it to you in Discord or something.
This has been a lot of fun, though. We need to do this again.
Yeah. No, you know where to find me. Ask me anytime, as long as I'm actually I can't say that because I'm having a kid. I'm having a son soon, so don't ask me then. Ask me afterwards.
How was the response to your recent video? The grifters was it
pretty positive? I'd say. There's a few people who got very angry at the thumbnail and didn't actually watch the video, and you can tell.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I saw that.
A lot of people told me that I said that Mahler was a grifter. That wasn't the case. I never said that. I said the opposite, actually.
I don't.
I was actually what? Sorry,
pedantic fucking. I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually nicer to Mahler probably than like I think any the rest of y'all would be. But like Mahler's subreddit hated it, so except for the 10 guys there who saw it and they all got downvoted. So what are you gonna do? Anyway, it's you getting rated apparently too. On top of all that, which is funny because I'm going to go now. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you all later. Right?
Later on.
Yeah, nice to see you.
All right, bye.
I need to fix my tech issue, and then I can stick around for a little while if people are coming in.
Okay, if you want to sort that out, because I want to say Ant's video was good, and it was much fairer than any of us would be if we tackled the same subject, but. He still got his point across that and I think it was a fair look at the current media landscape that there are grifters, there are grifters of those grifters, there are people who hang on to their coattails, and then there are true believers all mixed in with that one group. So there are people there who genuinely believe that everything Nerdrotic says is absolutely true, even the stuff that is absolutely not true. So it's a good video. Check that out once you've done liking and subscribing to this stream. But instead of going to whoever those chuds are for reviews, go and watch the movies yourself. If you're one of their fans, please watch the movies before you look at their reviews, just to give you an idea if they're telling you the truth or not.
Fun fact: Thunderbolts, Superman, and a Fantastic Four. All 3 fantastic movies.
Yep.
I don't know why my computer keeps doing that shit. It's really fucking frustrating. We're just like in the middle of a stream. Suddenly the screen that I've got StreamYard on will just kind of go black and then slowly start populating elements in back, but then won't ever completely do that. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird.
StreamYard is wonky.
Yeah, the front facing is fine. We've not noticed that you've had problems. So at least as far as we're concerned, everything's great.
I've got green screens of from that movie that I'm looking forward to finding an excuse to use. Of just like a bunch of reactions of Ice Cube going, "Oh my god," and stuff like that.
God.
Yeah,
like that.
I've avoided most of the coverage of that film, but I think Someone News covered it, and so I saw what they had to say about it. And I mean, I think that's what it looks like when a corporation makes a movie to test the waters of seeing how cheap they can make a film. And I don't think they'll make that mistake again. I'm surprised they released it, to be honest, because it
looks like a mess.
Yeah.
But guys, he's locked in the room, so he has to be on his computer monitor the whole movie.
Totally makes sense. It doesn't feel like this was made during COVID at all.
Yeah.
And definitely isn't just an extended advert for Amazon.
Listen, I will admit I'm not the biggest fan of the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds, but it looks infinitely better. It looks.
Will you talk about that? Has anybody watched the most recent season of Dexter? Like the new?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
No,
yeah.
I want to. I've heard really good things about
it.
it.
So it's pretty good. I'm working on a video about it right now. But the reason that that came out to me is because that entire season is kind of an extended ad for Apple, like on a level that kind of blew my mind. Have you how much of it have you watched?
I have not seen the last couple of episodes. I think maybe the last 2 episodes I haven't seen. It's so good. It's way better than the last half of the original series, which was terrible.
It's. I guess okay, I would argue it feels a little bit like fan fiction to me, like well done fan fiction, but it's kind of like people joking after the end of this show, they're like, all right, next I want to see him like in the White House or whatever, that's kind of we kind of I feel like that show kind of jumped the shark after they tried to execute like a Fight Club twist in season 6. Spoilers by the way for that, but I was just kind of I was curious if anyone else was noticing this, because the first episode there was there were some close-up shots of AirPods, and I was like, oh, okay. And then by the last episode, Apple products have been pivotal plot points 3 times.
Yeah,
jeez.
I was actually noticing this. I remember that the original series was clearly sponsored by Ford, because he drove a Ford, and every vehicle that you ever saw the emblem from was a Ford. Well, now it's apparently, I think it was Hyundai or Kia or something in Resurrection.
And I mean, they were definitely sponsored by Apple back then too. Which is now I'm I'm wondering why it wasn't, an Apple TV show. I guess probably just rights. It's just weird to see cross play, whatever. Type stuff.
The weird thing is the shows I've watched on Apple TV, when I get my free subscription to it, I'm not paying for Apple TV. They don't feel like adverts for Apple stuff. I mean, to be fair, I've only watched Ted Lasso and Slow Horses, but I've never felt like Apple are pushing their products in it. So
no, it's kind of impressive to me how good, just how I don't know, artistically free stuff on Apple TV has felt. I don't know if it's just because it's not a very successful streaming service or whatever, but people are over there doing whatever the hell they want.
Interesting.
Well, and also the quality of it is generally cinematic level shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very good quality.
Yeah, I mean, Slow Horses, it is legitimately a sort of film quality. And Ted Lasso doesn't feel like a sitcom, but even because they CGI a lot of the games, the soccer, the soccer matches, they CGI those, and it's really well done. But what I'm wondering is, are Apple doing a clever thing by sponsoring other shows and making that look like really product placement-y, and not doing the same to their own shows so it looks more authentic? They're almost downgrading the quality of the network shows.
See, I don't think that's what's happening, but that is such a funny idea to me. Oh, we're gonna pay to lower the quality of everyone else's shit.
Yes.
And they'll accept it too because they need the money. But
yeah, and it's still an advert for Apple, so Apple wins.
That's pretty funny.
So I got a few different things that I'd figured we could look at if we wanted to look at something. So we can continue talking, but I've got a few videos as well. So I've got Tim Pool has a humiliation fetish compilation. There's also Joe Rogan realizes he might be compromised, which I would definitely recommend. If you don't watch it here, go watch it on I think it's Too Lazy to Try is the channel name. With the number 2 lazy to try. Where it's, if you watch the Elephant Graveyard video, the most recent one, which a lot of people did, and he kind of touches on the whole cathedral and the Curtis Yarvin and the JD Vance and the Peter Thiel of it all. This video kind of follows up on that by laying out, there's a supercut of guests that Joe Rogan had in the last year or two, and each one of them is just not every guest that he had, but the ones that are in the supercut are just yeah, I'm friends with Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel's my friend. Yeah, I work for Peter Thiel. And then you realize that Peter Thiel owns quite a large stake in Spotify, and you're like, oh, okay. So this is all starting to kind of paint a picture. You know what I mean? And Joe Rogan is on his podcast going, "Oh, Peter Thiel's nice. All these billionaires are really nice. They're nice guys." It's like, yeah, they're nice to you, you fucking moron, because you have a platform and you're doing propaganda for their interests.
It was the same shit that that Bill Maher pulled too, where he was like, I don't know, Trump was nice to me or what. Like, do they not hear how they sound?
I get.
Well, yeah, because Joe Rogan, every time he has had a guest who's been mean to him, you never see them on the show again. He doesn't have them back if in any way they push back on what he's saying. And
but he
the
actually
majority reported
the other day because Brian Callen pushed back against him he was doing transphobia / anti-vax shit at the same time, where he was saying that Rogan was saying that because California has the strictest vax laws, and also there's so many boys that think they're girls in California, so in his mind that correlation equals causation, and he's an idiot. But Brian Callen kind of was like, "Oh, but you're not a scientist, Joe," and he got really mad. Like he ended up getting up and walking away for a minute. It's pretty funny.
The thing to remember about, if you take nothing else away from the Elephant Graveyard video, remember the line where Joe Rogan says that he is immune to bullshit, and remember that every time you see him get something wrong and be proven to get something wrong. I mean, after saying that, the cats litter trays in schools should have been enough. But because the Majority Report covered him recently, where he was once again not sure whether the moon landing is real or not, and by saying that there's a photograph of Michael Collins that NASA put out as an official space thing.
Oh wait, that's a different thing than what I was going to show. Holy shit!
That's different, is it?
I was gonna say, are you gonna show the AI walls video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Or
it might even be in the same video, but no, it's two different videos. Yeah. Basically, there's a photo that Michael Collins training to go to space. He was the third man of the Apollo mission that went to the moon.
Yeah.
There's a photo of him training that he then used on the cover of his book, and obviously it's a cutout because he never did a spacewalk that was filmed or photographed. And it says in his book they never took photos of him doing his spacewalk. And yet Joe Rogan, to this day, still he's convinced that NASA put out that photo of Michael Collins and claimed that it was Michael Collins doing the spacewalk when they didn't. And it's just stuff like that. Your bullshit meter seems to be broken, Joe. It seems to be stuck on, I'll believe anything that anybody says to me, as long as it coincides with my own pre-held beliefs.
Someone is in that whole race and running for president or vice president, and then the race is over and they realize that person was a liability, so they cut them off, and then that person goes wacky, like Tim Walsh. That's right. Did you see where he had a "fuck Trump" shirt on? And he's dancing and going down an elevator. Have you seen this video?
I haven't. The most fucking boomer Facebook brain will
Please play it. I haven't seen it.
Please, Jamie, find that
Tim
video.
Walsh
But this is weird.
That was.
Yeah, I said the other day that Jamie's like the little Dutch boy with his finger in the douche, trying to hold back the anti-reality from completely crashing in.
It's a big mistake.
Oh, a huge mistake.
They should have picked Josh Shapiro from the governor of Pennsylvania.
I think they're worried about the Jewish thing.
Well, of course, it's a big swing state.
Pause it for a second. It's like a Gordian knot of stupidity here. Because you're going back and forth, the data gets clearer and clearer that the F up by the Harris campaign was they did not recognize the polling and actively told their canvassers not to deliver the data that the Gaza position that Harris had was hurting them. Shapiro would have made that problem even worse.
It's real. Yes, it is.
Hear Jamie saying no, it's not.
I would love it. It's real.
It's not real.
It's got to be real.
It has to be real.
It has to be real.
Jamie,
come on, man.
Jamie's compromised.
Look at him dancing. That is so real, Jamie.
By the way, if this was real, he might have won.
It's probably a real person. It might not be Tim Walsh. The fuck Trump is AI generated.
No, he slaps his ass.
I mean, that
is it's real because he slaps his ass.
That looks so fake.
I was gonna say, it's so obvious. I can imagine someone falling for that in just scrolling past or whatever, but being told in front of you that's AI generated and sticking to your guns is insane.
It just shows that he's okay, so just full disclosure here, this is embarrassing, but there was a point years and years ago, mid 2000s, when I liked Joe Rogan because I was a young man from the southeast-ish of Texas, and I was an atheist, and so like I did not. It was still novel to me when I got out of that area to hear people talk. Like the atheist experience was in Austin, where I moved to, and seeing that, like, holy shit, they can talk about this stuff like on local access TV. That's crazy, and that was exciting to me. Joe Rogan would talk about being an atheist and shit like that, and that was appealing to me at that point. And so in my mind, it's like, okay, so he clearly knows how to do some critical thinking, right? You know, but I guess at some point the money, I don't know, the fucking supplements, something fucked his brain up. And he just doesn't. Now he completely goes based on vibes. Like, it feels like this is true. I want it to be true, so it's got to be real. Look, he slaps his ass.
The other clip that's been like recirculating that you've probably already seen before was when he did the exact same thing with where, you know, Biden said that that the big problem in the Revolutionary War was that they didn't have enough airports, and he was going on, you know, they had this whole lengthy discussion of how Biden's completely fucking out of it. He's so stupid. He doesn't understand that, like, that there weren't airports during the Revolutionary War, you know, and they really lay it in thick.
Trump, yeah.
And they were, you know, and immediately he goes from, oh, well, guess he fucked up then. Like, it's just, guy's an ideologue.
Yeah, like, clearly won't apply the same level of scrutiny to the person who actually was saying that shit. Yeah. It's the roids. It's got to be the roids.
When Sam was on one of the network shows, and there was a guy saying, because it was when Trump made that bullshit distraction about mail-in ballots, and the guy was vehemently defending how mail-in ballots are all corrupt. And I thought, I bet if the woman presenting just put a finger to the ear and said, oh, we're just hearing that Trump has reversed his decision on mail-in ballots and he's actually in favor of them now, I guarantee that the guy arguing for it would have switched like that. He would have turned on a dime and said, oh, no, you know what, actually, mail-in ballots are the safest way to. They would change their opinion in a matter of seconds.
Well, and the truth is they actually are. So here in Oregon, they've been doing it for 2 decades at least. And from what I can tell, it's exceedingly secure and accurate. You know, I mean, like, Putin is the one that put the idea in his head that, like, no, don't do mail-in ballots. Those are really corrupt. You can't do that. But guess who does mail-in ballots?
Yeah.
That's how Putin knows he loses every time and then stays in power. It's because of mail-in ballots.
Where your brain has to be to think that that is Tim Walz actually doing that. You have to be so far gone, because if Tim Walz did that, he would be committed. Like, literally, anyone around him would be like, you've had a mental break.
Yeah, what's going on?
The sitting governor.
Still the governor of the state.
He's the governor of the state. Rogan is so desperate to believe this is true. Like, he's literally arguing with the producer. So desperate to believe that this is true. It also turns out, like, it's literally labeled AI generated. But go ahead.
I like that he's afraid of it. He's like, it was weird.
It was weird, man.
I was aroused.
AI generated.
No, he slaps his ass.
I mean, that is hilarious.
Oh, it's definitely him. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant by the
Jamie's
government.
compromised, and I'm worried about Jamie, and I'm worried about Grok.
Does it say that it's AI?
I mean, yes.
You say it's AI. Everybody says
The
it.
video I played on top says it's AI generated.
Rep
Oh,
Riley
so
Moore
what?
fell for an AI-generated video of Minnesota. I fell for it too, and you know why?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's capable of doing something.
But that's
that
his
dumb.
essence.
He's so weird.
He's a weird guy.
Proof that he's weird is that I think he's so weird that would be true.
What did Cuomo?
He's so weird,
what
so it
Cuomo
could
say
be
about
real.
AOC?
I think it was the exact same thing, that it seems like that's something AOC would have said.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Reality they're living in, because we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, how it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If you believe it to be true, even if it's false, the fact that you believed it to be true means that it could be true, which is as good as it being true. It's insane.
You know who was behind that AI video, though, if you want to know who's to blame. Here's this.
Hollywood writers who try to poke their noses into internet culture. They either completely misunderstand who the good and bad guys are, or more like...
So, Bob, I think I caught you doing some bad faith here, man.
I'm very bad faith. This is true.
So he did say they're either doing this, which you stopped and seized upon, and he was going to say something else. So he might have been saying the other thing is what this movie did. So maybe he's
True.
not defending or attacking the show that literally tells the true story of a woman who was tracking domestic terrorists.
I mean, we all know she's the real bad guy, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I covered that on Friday last week. I've got a video. I just need to finish editing it and throw that up where I kind of looked at it. Basically the same thing from different angles. I looked at it on Twitter and what, it's bizarre how many people just really zeroed in on this show, this trailer for a show on Apple Plus TV, which as far as I can tell, like Nerdrotic and those guys, they almost never cover anything from that shit.
No,
but this in particular, they really seized on it. And they just they're really interested in mocking it and belittling the idea that this is a real thing, or and I don't even know if they realize it's based on a true story, but it is. Yeah.
Dude, did he just argue that domestic terrorists are the good guys? Is that his argument? Because that certainly seems to be what he fucking just implied. Let's rewind that a second.
Writers who try to poke their noses into internet culture, they either completely misunderstand.
What's fucking funny there is like internet culture. You mean like just culture, dude? That's just shit happens on the internet, and that's people that live in the world are doing that on the internet, right?
As well, like you were saying about this being a true story. So this is based on a woman who actually does this and who has actually stopped real domestic terrorists from committing actual terrorism and proper large-scale terrorism, blowing shit up with homemade devices. And so what the drinker's saying is, oh no, the person that she stopped, who was literally about to go and drive somewhere in a van full of explosives to blow somewhere up, he's not the real terrorist. That's what the
She's the
drinker
real
is implying
terrorist.
here.
You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they're framing it, of course, on Twitter is like, oh, they're going after white men. It's like, white men who are doing what? What are they doing? It's not just white men, because I don't feel, I'm not getting attacked or anything. I don't feel, it's once again that same thing as Star Wars, like, oh, they're going after the fans. Nope, they're racist fans. Racist shit. Same shit every day with these chuds. By the way, Birdman has, not only does he have that Eric July video that he put out last week, but he put out a 1 year of exposing the grift supercut, which is, I haven't finished it, but I mean, I've seen all the videos already, but still, if you want to see a year of his, can't believe it's already been a year.
Yeah.
That excellent series, kind of, compressed and compiled. Go check it out. You don't need me to fucking promote Birdman.
It feels like just yesterday he started joining the anti grift group with us.
Yeah, and you know what? I noticed that he did leave in that one line that got us to reach out to him in the first place. You remember that, Bob?
Yes.
In that first video where he said, "Since nobody else seems capable or willing to do it, I guess I need." You're like, hold the fuck up here.
Wait a minute. I think I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, and then we, of course, came on the show and we're all cool and everything, but it was a bit of a hey now, watch your tone.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, he has promoted us far more than I expected. I mean, I've seen the clips of our material on his videos more often enough than so I think he's made up for it at this point.
Yeah. Oh God, it
was really just an excuse to try and get him to come on the show at that point, anyways.
True.
And it works. We need him back though, because it must be about a year since he was last on as well. If it's been
he was just starting out into this. He had only done like 1 or 2 videos when he came on here. So, exposing the grift videos, he had been on freaking YouTube probably as long as I have. So it's been a while.
That's a long time. You're old as shit, Bob.
I'm fucking ancient and I feel it.
What do you got going on, Malachi, on your channel? What's happening over there?
Yeah, well, I've discussed a little bit. Friday we're coming out with the trans violence video, or I suppose the lack thereof.
You need to grab that video. Sorry.
No. So that I think I posted both the short and the full thing, but so that's kind of been my project for the last little week or so. I'm really hoping to get a video on Dexter out in the next couple weeks. Because I've just been I've been making my girlfriend come and go and rewatch the original show with me and everything, and
Not past season 4 though, right?
I will.
I think season 5's underrated.
I will
think
defend
five's
season
solid.
5. I think that season 7 has some merit to it as well.
Sure, but like as far as like just like peak nonstop great at Dexter, that ends after Trinity.
That is probably
Well,
that's
I mean, let's face it, season 3 is not great too.
I like season 3 quite a bit. I don't know. I always thought that Bail Organa would be a serial killer, so it was kind of nice to.
Yeah, I like.
Oh
that
no,
too.
I think Jimmy Smits did what he could. I just thought it was poorly thought out.
But I will say, so I just rewatching season 1, it kind of blows my mind what the like the budget that they were dealing with there. Like there are so many scenes where they just like the color grade changes from shot to shot. Like I don't know, it's something that I didn't even really, like he looks down his phone, he looks up, and now all of a sudden it's like red or whatever, like not in like the intentional way, like it, they used a lot of red light, but it's one of those things that then when we started rewatching season 2, I was like, oh my god, the budget is so much, like it's I don't know, season 2 was kind of
fly
like
by night that first season a little bit.
Mhm.
It felt like it was
I also, for the purposes of this video, started to read the books, and I don't want to be mean, but they're not very good. At least the first one is not.
I read the first one and I was not thrilled. I thought season 1 did like a similar story, but so much better.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. That was one of the, like, I was really disappointed in seeing, like, I was talking to my girlfriend about this because she's like, wow, not many people ever say that like the show or the movie's better than the book. And I was like, it happens a lot more often than you realize.
Yeah,
Invincible's that way too, in case anyone's wondering.
Fight Club. Fight Club.
Oh, sure. Well, I have that. I haven't read that yet. It's literally sitting over there. Because I've been meaning...
Most of the time is when you don't know that it was based on a book.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't know, like the thing for me is that the Dexter books, at least like I shouldn't say books. The first one is like, so it doesn't get into the character in a way that
it's simple. Yeah, it's it's weird to describe, but like there's not much meat to it. There's no.
And this is something that I want to, so I'm gonna have to like spend a little bit more time thinking about this. But so the reason that I think that the newest Dexter reboot, Resurrection, is doing so well is because even though the plot is like ridiculous in terms of it's just so nothing like what the original show was, the character is handled really, really well. Yes. As a like a progression of where he was in the original show. And I think like it ultimately comes down to the fact that this current reboot understands that Dexter is not actually a sociopath, and that's like that's what he's he's trying to convince himself that that's what he is, and that's what his dad tried to convince him of and everything.
Yes.
And the book has that same, all of that same textual evidence there that that's not what he was. But then I go and read an AMA that the author did, and he seems like a nice enough guy, but like where he's talking about how, oh yeah, there's Dexter doesn't have a soul. There's no, you can't, a sociopath can't have a conscience, things like that. And I'm like, I don't like, are we, did I read the thing that you wrote? Cause that is not, that's not the thing. And so I don't know. I find the way that that's written very confusing and frustrating, but it's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. I want to see if they get better, but yeah. I don't know. I will say, having in the book, just a tiny little like bit of a spoiler. LaGuerta basically just like sexually harasses Dexter. He turns her down, and that's how she figures out that he's like a sociopath or whatever.
Oh my God.
It's like literally.
Yeah, I noticed in the first season of the show, they early on she kind of hits on him, flirts with him a little bit.
Oh yeah, she's very sexually aggressive with him.
Completely goes away.
Yeah, in the book, she just randomly like fondles him, and he's like not interested. And then when when Dokes shows up at the shipping crates,
surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, in the book, that's her, and she's like, wow, Dokes was right about you. We're gonna, a bunch of the lines that he says are hers in the book, Wow. And she's like, I realized after you turned me down, like after you didn't want me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then she gets murked out very quickly. It's a strange book, and that is all I need to say further on the subject. But
okay. That just reminded me of a video that I had to download real quick. All right. Well, so you said that video is on the trans stats thing? It's gonna
Yeah,
be
that'll be Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific. If you want to play the short, you're welcome to. I don't care, but I mean, like, that's kind of what it's going to be like. But
while
close with it.
While this is on my mind, I do want to mention this. YouTube, like lots of YouTubers are talking about this, and there's a reason. YouTube has a restricted mode. You have to make sure it's off. And one thing I figured out is that it's a device setting. So you have to make sure it's off on all your devices. It's not an account setting. Just because you have it turned off once doesn't mean anything. So make sure to turn off restricted mode on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah, I saw what's they called? Red Letter Media talking about it.
Yeah, they actually talked about a YouTube issue. They're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's a weird change. I would expect that YouTube will tinker with it over the next few months.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously it doesn't affect me because none of my channel is not kid-friendly stuff at all. I don't think. So I don't think.
I mean, that's part of Red Letter Media being confused because like some of their stuff was apparently kid-friendly, despite the fact that like all their videos they say the F word multiple times. So
yeah, well, I don't even think it's kid-friendly. It's from what they were saying, it seems to be the general tone of your overall channel means that for some reason some videos will just disappear from their list of videos if you've got that turned on, which is a really weird sort of feature for YouTube to have. But yeah, look out for that. And I do wonder if the Chuds will blame their recent decline in viewers on that, but we'll see.
Anything they can to do a victim stream.
Yeah, and shout out to Birdman in the comments.
Yes.
Well. He heard us call his name. Producing good quality content, like everyone who's been on stream tonight, and a lot of other folks out there now are doing their bit.
We didn't get really any trolls or shitty chuds or anything today. That's kind of surprising.
Not really, no.
Yeah, not really.
No accelerationists.
You just summoned them.
What is an accelerationist?
They're everywhere.
Can you give me a firm definition?
Being a conservative is dangerous. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, clearly, because they have all the power. They own all the branches of government, and probably never going to give up in any of them. And they're all mostly law enforcement or conservatives too. So yeah, very, very, very risky, honestly. So it's a joke. Maybe I should end the stream.
Well, guys, I will be live tomorrow covering some comic books. And then we'll probably just do a Chud poll again to figure out who I'll cover. But yeah, come by. We'll have some fun. I know Eric will stream a couple hours after that, so plenty of streaming tomorrow. So
and I'll be streaming Friday. I'll be probably talking more about the cathedral and the Joe Rogan-ness of things, and then also I'll probably talk about today's events on that day. And once I had time to think about it and process my very sensitive feelings, and then also
surprise, motherfucker! Surprise, motherfucker! All rise, motherfucker! Wrong size, motherfucker!
Make sure to watch my Blazing Saddles video. It's getting buried as all my not debunking Chuds videos are getting buried. But fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Somebody shark jumping walrus created a membership, so there's that. Cool.
So well done to whoever got that.
Oh, that was a minute ago. No wonder.
Yep.
Cool, guys. Cool. Subscribe to all the folks you saw here today. They're always linked in the description of the streams, unless you're on Ant's channel, because he didn't get the memo. But maybe he'll add it. Oh shit! I missed you guys this week, but caught some of the stream. Thank you. Well, maybe next week. Always welcome. So of course Malachi was here this time, and I don't know that I've seen you and Sherry in the same place at the same time. So maybe y'all are just like doing some
suspicious. Yeah, you're figuring it out.
Yeah, y'all people need look. Bob's doing fucking consistent Star Trek content, just like about stuff that he loves, and you still doing it with your kid or what?
Oh, the recent ones are not with my kid. Although I do streams with my kid because she's
Which is
gotten
awesome.
into Star Trek too, which is I love sharing Star Trek with her. So I'm like,
my son wants to get on stream with me like all the time, but I'm always like, I don't know, because he would probably derail quite a bit, and you know, so I need to just set aside a stream that's just for that, actually. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna show this a little bit of this short, if you actually don't mind.
No, by all means.
Why not do a I don't know, like a subscribers or a members only stream with your kid, just to test the water?
I should.
Little bonus for your.
Well, also apparently you can stream right to Patreon now. Yeah, like before, it was a whole bunch of hassle, but I guess now they made it easier. I'll check that out and see what's going on with that. And September 11th, never forget. All right.
What?
I don't know.
They must be in the UK or something, because it's just gone. It's 20 to 1 year. It's still September the 10th for you guys.
Good times. All right. Let me set this up here real quick. I got to change the outro video now that I did this. There we go. Okay. See y'all later.
Okay. Nobody can produce a source for this graph. It's fake. I can't 100% prove that it's fake because there's no source, but I can 100% prove that this graph is fake. And to do so, let's take a look at the demographics that the blue graph reports. Trans, Asian, Black, White, and Hispanic. Of those categories, it reports male and female numbers for trans people and Asian people. The other three categories only report male numbers. Now, looking at this yellow graph, we can see it reports all the same demographics plus one more, this time as a measure of the entire population rather than dividing it by gender. And that's how I noticed that this statistic for all trans people was a little suspicious. See, when I take the average of trans men and trans women from the blue graph, I get the exact number on the yellow graph. Similarly, when I take the average of Asian men and Asian women, I get the exact yellow graph number. What this would imply, if it were true, is that there's an almost exactly equal proportion of trans men to trans women and Asian men to Asian women in America. I know we already know that isn't true, but just to cover our bases, according to the last census, there are nearly 1 million more Asian women and girls in the US compared to Asian men and boys, a gap which widens when looking at adults only. The numbers are a fair bit closer when it comes to trans men and trans women, but I think I proved my point. Whoever made this yellow graph just took the numbers from the blue one, added them together, and divided by 2. But if you still don't believe me, why don't you ask yourself how they got the data for the entire population of white, black, and Hispanic people when the blue graph only gives data for men in those categories? I swear to God I'm not joking when I tell you this. They just divided each of the blue graph's numbers in half. I cannot stress enough how insane this is. The person who made this yellow graph made the statistical assumption that women in these categories make up exactly half of the population and committed 0 mass shootings in this 10-year period, except Asian women, I guess. I told you I liked graphs. So here's what I think may have happened. Someone, probably Jack Posobiec, because the earliest instance of the yellow graph I could find was from the End Wokeness account on Twitter, or possibly some 4chan user or something of the sort, saw the blue graph circulating and thought that it'd be really useful if conservatives had multiple different sets of numbers to point to that all more or less said the same thing. But being a conservative and therefore not great with statistics, he fumbled his way through restructuring the data in a way that looked just different enough while maintaining the exact same trends as the original chart. And then he threw in Native Americans just to make it look like a different set of data. I definitely can't prove that's how this came about. It's possible both charts were just made by the same person. They do have the same title and subheading, but either way, the latter graph is nothing but a shitty knockoff of the original already fake graph.